provides twice as many children.
All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you. I was the one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 2 Chronicles 30:6.
And be not you like your fathers and like your brethren, which trespass against Yahuah Alahym of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as you see. And be you not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto Yahuah, enter into a sanctuary, which ye have sanctified forever, and serve Yahuah your Alahym, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you. For if you turn again unto Yahuah,
What's happening, Brother Marvin?
And your children shall find compassion before them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For Yahuah your Alahym is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you if you return unto him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exodus 34:5.
And Yahuah descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of Yahuah. And Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Alahym, merciful and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness.
Shalom, Brother Craig.
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin. And thou by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth.
1 Corinthians 13:1.
And though I speak with the tongues of men and of Malachim and have not love, I am become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, though I give my body to be burned and have not love, it profit me nothing. Love suffer long and is kind. Love envy not. Love want not itself, is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seek not our own, is not easily provoked, think no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, endure all things. Love never fail, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
Very well. Hosea 2:18.
And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, with the fowls of Shamayim, and with the creeping things of the ground. I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I'll betroth you unto me forever.
You do what?
Betroth you unto me forever.
What else he gonna do?
Yeah, I'll betroth you unto me in righteousness,
what else?
Judgment, and
what else?
loving kindness, and in mercies. I'll even betroth you unto me in faithfulness, and you shall know Yahuah.
So, you say you'll do what?
Betroth you unto me in
You'll
faithfulness.
know Yahuah. So now I want you to go get Jeremiah 31 and 31 and lead us up to get us to the mercy seat.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahuah, that I'll make a new covenant with the house of Yasharal and with the house of Yehudah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers on the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahuah. But this shall be the covenant that I'll make with the house of Yasharal. After those days, saith Yahuah, I will put my law in their inward parts and in their hearts, and will be their Alahym, and they shall be my people.
What else?
They shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuah. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahuah.
Now you see how that worked in, how he said, once he betrothed you and righteousness, loving kindness, mercies, faithfulness, you would know him. Then he just said, when he put his laws in your inward parts, you would what, Sivit?
Know him.
Share with them the definition of the word Yada just because.
That is to know, to learn to know, to perceive, to find out and discern, to discriminate, distinguish, to know by experience, to recognize, to acknowledge, to confess, to consider, to be acquainted with.
Now go read Jeremiah 9 and 23.
Thus saith Yahuah, let not the wise man esteem in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man esteem in his might. Let not the rich man esteem in his riches.
What do you need to
But
esteem?
let him esteem in this, that he understand and know me, that I am Yahuah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and
Hold on,
righteousness.
read that part again, Sibby.
Say, but let him that esteem in this, that he understand and know me.
That he what?
Understand and know me.
What else?
That I am Yahuah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith
So
Yahuah.
what it is to understand and know him, Sibby, that he exercised loving kindness and righteousness. Now we taking all these three things together because it's gonna make the Kippur make more sense. Or the mercy seat. What I wanted to hold on. Something in Ezekiel, man. I think it's Ezekiel 22. Tell me what Ezekiel 22 and 7 say.
In you have they set light by father and mother. In the midst of you have they dealt by oppression with the stranger. In you they have vexed the fatherless and the widow. You have despised my Kadash things and have profaned my Shabbats. And you are men that carry tails to shed blood. And
Carry what?
Carry tails to
Tell
shed
them what
blood.
tails is, man. You used to watch DuckTales, Sibby?
That's Rakil, slanderer, talebearer, and
So-
informer.
They carry what? Slander, talebearer, and informer. See, now pause. We ain't gonna go into it in depth, but go back and read Proverbs 26 and 22. Because if it says they carrying tales or slander to slay a man, of course you know this is one of those 7 abominations. But I'm referencing this for a reason, for what the Lord said when he was on that tree.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
Hold on. Do you remember what he told you about the belly in Proverbs? What he told you about the belly? You know what he said about the belly? You didn't hear what you like. You got to know something. You know. So tell me what Proverbs 19 and 30 say. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. It got to be 20.
Say, judgments are prepared for scorners, stripes for the back of fools.
That ain't it. Hold on. That page ain't in here. Right verse, wrong chapter, 20 and 30. But give me 15 in front of it and work your way to it. Well, 25 in front of it. I said 15. That's too many verses. Tell me what verse 25 said. Oh.
It is a snare to the man who devour that which is Kadash, and after vows to make inquiry.
Oh, you know, we talked about this before, right? You say it's well, tell me what 24 say for complete context.
Man's goings are of Yahuah. How can a man then understand his own way? It is a snare to the man who devour that which is Kadash.
Now, what is that Kadash that he's devoured? I only say that because we read it last night. Great. Nah, yeah, his body, the bread. Go ahead. What's the next name?
Saying after vows to make inquiry, a wise king scatter the wicked.
Hold on. Tell him what vows and inquiry.
Vows is nader, that is a vow, a votive offering.
Remember, that's a free will offering, a promise offering. You would have to understand that when you acknowledge to get immersed, that's a votive offering. But go ahead.
Inquiry is bakar, to seek, to inquire, to consider, to look for.
And if you recall, we dealt with this in the past. This refers to that you shouldn't eat that bread and drink that wine unworthily, because it ain't good for you. Now read the verse in its entirety.
It is a snare to the man who devour that which is Kadash, and after vows to make inquiry. A wise king scatter the wicked, and bring the will over them.
Go ahead.
The ruach of man is the candle of Yahuah, searching all the inward parts of the belly.
Go ahead.
Mercy and truth preserve the king. His throne is upholding by mercy.
Pause. That's why I wanted you to go up. Read that again.
Say mercy and truth preserve the king.
Mercy and what?
And truth preserve the king.
Tell them what preserve me.
It is Nasar, to guard, watch, to watch over, to keep, to
So,
preserve.
Chesed and faithfulness, loving kindness and faithfulness is what guarded the king. This is how he was able to raise from the dead. But what is his throne ruled by though?
It's upholding by mercy.
Tell them what uphold me.
It is Sa'ad, to support, sustain, to establish, to strengthen, to comfort.
So his throne is established and strengthened by mercy. Let's make sure mercy is Chesed right there. See?
Yes, Chesed.
So his throne is upheld by loving kindness. I think if y'all recall, because Mama Steph mentioned this, like the whole covenant is mercy. That's what the whole thing is about. That's what gets grossly overlooked. That's why the focus being on the Kippareth of the mercy seat, because it's the seat of reconciliation. It's the seat of loving kindness. It's the seat of mercy. It's the seat of purging. That's literally what his throne represents, which is grossly overlooked the mass majority of the time. Continue on, sir.
Say the esteem of young men is their strength. The beauty of old men is the gray head. The blueness of a wound cleanse away evil.
The blueness of a wound do what?
Cleanse away evil.
They do what?
Cleanse away evil.
What else?
So do stripes, the inward parts of the belly.
Tell them what blueness is. You watching Blues Clues with your children?
That's Kavurah, a bruise, a stripe, a wound, a blow.
So now the wounds of the belly cleanse away what's it?
Evil.
Now why is that important based on where we was at aforetime? Now just read the verse straight through and then we'll go back to where we was.
The blueness of a wound cleanse away evil. So do stripes, the inward parts of the belly.
Now go back to Proverbs 26.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
Now this went down. Now what do you think this means when they say the blueness of a wound cleanse the belly and stripes cleanse the belly? Go read that Proverbs 23 again because I said it wrong. Now he said the words of a slanderer are wounds in the belly. That's what it said, right?
Say the blueness of a wound cleanse away evil. So do stripes, the inward parts of the belly.
So do stripes, the inward parts of the belly. Now we know where the belly is batin or baton. Read it for him, Sibby. Tell him what it is.
Batin, that's belly, womb, or body. You got your seat of mental faculties, the seat of hunger.
If this is the seat of hunger, what is this letting you know? This is the seat of your appetites. You know what he said in Proverbs 23:1, Civic, about your appetite? Put a knife to your throat. If you be a man, give it the appetite. Read it for him, Civic. It's Proverbs 23:1.
When you sit to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before you. And put a knife to your throat if you be a man given to appetite.
Tell him what appetite means.
That is nefesh, your soul, yourself, your life, your mind, your desires, emotions, passions.
That means if you're a man given over to desire, you need to put a knife to your throat. Mark 9:37. Now, when we look at this here, it's going to get us to what he said while he was on that tree. Because when they say the blueness of a wound, cleanses a man, and stripes to the innermost part of the belly, or wounds to the innermost part of the belly, it'll take us to Hebrews 9 when he says, shall not the blood of a Mashiach purge your conscience from dead works? Because the wounds that he received, should they not have cleansed the seat of your emotions, the seat of your passions, so on and so forth. Which is also leading to how his throne is upholden by mercy, which is why he tell you, come to the throne of grace for help in the time of need. Come on, sir.
And whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name, receive me. Whosoever shall receive me, receive not me, but him that sent me.
What else?
John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in your name, and he followed not us, and we forbade him.
Go ahead.
Because he followed not us. But Yahushua said, forbid him not. For there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. For whosoever shall give you a cup of water to drink in my name, because you belong to Hamashiach, truly I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. Whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he were cast into the sea. And if your hand offends you, cut it off.
Do what to it?
Cut it off.
What else?
It is better for you to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched.
And the worm?
Die not, and the fire is not quenched.
What else?
If your foot offends you, cut it off.
Do what?
Cut it off.
Do what?
Cut it off.
Why?
It is better for you to enter halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched.
What else?
Where the worm die not, and the fire is not quenched.
What else?
And if your eye offends you, pluck it out.
Why?
It is better for you to enter into the kingdom of Alahym with 1 eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire, where the worm die not, and the fire is not quenched.
Y'all remember that rapper? I forget his name. Who poked his eye out? You know? You know what I'm talking about? You know, there was a rapper. He literally read that verse and cut his eye out. He said he wanted to get out of music business. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember his name. I think he's from Texas. He said he did that because of that verse. He said what he was seeing in the music business, he said that I had to go. He had to get out of it. I don't think he realized he could have just left.
Well, so his name is Houston.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's what Nika just said. Go to Luke chapter 11, verse 33. Did he have any music worth noting? Because I don't know nothing about him. I only seen him in YouTube videos, Fat Boy shows him when I came home.
Say, no man, when he have lighted a candle, put it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light.
Right.
The light of the body is the eye. Therefore,
The light of the body is the what?
Is the eye. Therefore, when your eye is single, your whole body also is full of light.
What
When
else?
your eye is evil, your body also is full of darkness. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in you be not darkness. If your whole body therefore be full of light, but having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light. As when the bright shining of a candle do give you light.
Now listen, when you notice when he say dealing with plucking out the eye, because he say your eye need to be single, innocent. I go to 1 John 2 and 15. Hold on, let me see this question Monte had. He asked, we know right from wrong and what is or not a sin. Will each name in the book be compared specifically to what's included in the covenant that is upholding the mercy seat? Yes. Every last one of us is going to be judged according to the word. You know, Yahushua said, I will give. Well, we'll just read it. But go ahead, Sid.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Abba is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and
this is why he's telling you to pluck your eye out. Not the literal removal of the eye, but the removal of the desire or the lust of the eyes if you give it over to carnal passions. Pluck it out. Go ahead, Sid.
saying the pride of life is not of the Abba, but is of the world. And the world pass away, and the lust thereof. But he that do the will of Alahym abide forever.
Give me Jeremiah 17 and 5. Good morning, baby.
Thus saith Yahuah, cursed be the man that trusts in man,
Who make
flesh his arm, and whose heart depart from Yahuah. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good come, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in the salt land, and not inhabited. Baruch is the man that trusts in Yahuah, and whose hope Yahuah is.
That's right.
For he shall be as a tree planted by waters, that spread out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat come, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit.
What else?
The heart is deceitful above all things,
And desperately
wicked, who can know it? I, Yahuah, search the heart, I try the reins.
He do what?
Search the heart, try the reins.
What else he do?
To give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings.
Go ahead.
As a partridge sit on eggs, and hatch them not, so he that get riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool.
Listen. Now you heard what he said. He's going to give to every man according to his works. You go to Revelation 22. about verse 10.
And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is Kadash, let him be Kadash still. And behold, I come quickly, my reward is with me, to give every man according to as his work shall be.
He's going to give everybody according to their work, and that work is determined by the words of the covenant. That's what we're going to be judged by when he opened the books. Because we was having this conversation yesterday, and there was the aspect of, what is he going to judge you by? How he going to judge you? Who's the determiner of righteousness? Who is the determiner of righteousness? It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. He determines that. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Sister Virginia. And people have a problem with that. And now we're going back to the offering of, what is the name there? Isaac, things of that sort. But come on back to Proverbs 26 and wherever was that on there. Because there's a lot of things that people think, like it's people who have issue with, the law that say, if you see a woman after war and you want to be with her, some people have a problem with that. Why would God conclude that? 99.9% of the time, because these men were going to do it anyway. So let me give you a statute and an ordinance on how to deal with it. And then, of course, you're dealing with war, and war is an ugly thing. But some people like, that's not consent, it's rape, it's this, that, and the third. And you know what I'm telling you? Take it up with God when you see him. He was asking about, well, Paul wrote this. Why did Paul write that? Go pick him up and ask him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not alive to answer these questions. So I'm not going to attempt to try to answer it for him. You know what I'm saying? Those letters say what they say. And the reason why I say that is because people's problem is they don't know the text, so they don't know why this man is writing what he's writing. But go ahead, Steve.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Burning lips and a wicked heart are
That's
like
good, right? Because we're just dealing with the wounds. So let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. Considering that all of these things we read about these wounds pertain to him betrothing you in loving kindness and mercy and faithfulness and in righteousness.
For this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward Alahym endure grief, suffering wrongfully. For what esteem is it if when you be buffeted for your faults, you shall take it patiently? But if when you do well and suffer for it, you take it patiently, this is acceptable with Alahym.
Right.
For even hereunto were you called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps.
Right.
Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth.
Right.
Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judged righteously. Who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we being dead to sin should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed.
Whose stripes you were what?
Healed.
Now we know that from Isaiah 53, and those stripes dealing with wounds, blows. I think we referenced it last night in the Civic. These are the wounds that I got in the house of love. So go to Luke 22. Make sure I get the right verse. It's Luke 23. You can pick it up at 26.
And as they led him away, they laid hold upon one Simon, a Cyrenian, coming out of the country, and on him they laid the stake, that he might bear it after Yahushua. There followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Yahushua, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children.
For your children.
For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, Baruch are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck.
Yep.
Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?
What shall be done in the dry?
There are also 2 other malefactors led with him to be put to death. When they were come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him and the malefactors, one on the right hand and the other on the left. Then said Yahushua, I will forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots.
Right.
And the people stood beholding.
Now that's what we came there for. He said what?
I will forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now
this is how the blueness of the wound cleanse away evil. Now, what that line up with the law, Kalisha? You know what law that is? No, you don't know. What law is it? That is the wrong answer. Johnny, what law that is? You struggling? Read that verse again, Sylvie, man, because this he tripped.
Then said Yahushua, I will forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Hell no, you're gonna have to die. That's what they tell you in Diamond Gym. Die. Jonathan, you know the answer? What law that is? You get a pass. You don't get the pass.
You have to forgive them for they know what they do.
Hell no. They struggling, Civic. Civic, you know what law that is, Civic? Don't nobody know what law that is. Come on. That's why. Yo. Like tips on your tongue. You just said it's on. Definitely. No, that is the saying, but I like immature comedy, so you know Suey. And he would be right, because I didn't give an answer yet. Come over here to Leviticus chapter 4. Read verse 25. And Sean answered that also. He just didn't have the citation. I need a citation. Don't you know when you write a book, you got to cite your sources? You got one to do the running? What you got to do the running?
I was telling about I got to find.
All right, tempo. Come on, Sid.
I didn't know what it was. That's what came in my head.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Well, we know you ain't strong in that gym or on that court. You know that. Ain't no hate. Leviticus 4:25. You see you in that gym, boy. You ain't moving no weight. You a young man. That's gay. What you mean? I did 5 sets of 10 Bulgarian split squats the other day. You know what I'm talking about? It's dumbbells, bro. Hey man, we can do 100 if you need to. How many you doing?
More than you.
How much weight you carrying? Yeah, you want to talk about some split squats? How many exertion squats you doing? What your front squats look like? What your hack squats look like? Yeah, then, but what the weight is though? What the weight is though? You know what I'm saying? No, bump all that, nigga. What that exertion squat look like? Huh? You know what I'm talking about? You tell you didn't run because you didn't run from your bar. You're supposed to run from your bar. He caught you though. Whoa, I ain't gonna get on him. Come on, man. Leviticus 4:25.
And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. He shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of shalom offerings, and the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he do somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahuah concerning things which ought not to be done and be guilty, or if his sin which he have sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he have sinned.
Right.
He shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take up the blood thereof with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour all the blood
That's
thereof.
good. Read verse 27 again.
Saying, if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he do somewhat against any of the
And
commandments.
when he say, I will forgive them for they know not what they do. See that line up with the law. Now I want you to go to 1 Corinthians 2 and 5. And see that lines up with mercy. If he's saying, forgive them for they know not what they do. Remember, the king's throne is built upon mercy. That's what we read, right?
So that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Alahym.
Right.
Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the princes of this world that come to nothing. But we speak the wisdom of Alahym in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Alahym ordained before the world unto our esteem.
Right.
Which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they
would have known it,
they would not have crucified the Lord of esteem.
Remember, what did Paul say? He said he was injurious and a blasphemer. But he said, what caused him to do it, though?
Ignorance.
They say ignorance and unbelief. He didn't know. Now I want you to go to Acts 3 and verse 9. See, because these are things that are not taken into account with individuals. It's a lot of stuff people, and you really don't know. That's why I say if you receive the knowledge of the truth and you sin willfully. People think receiving the knowledge of the truth is finding out you're an Israelite or keep the commandments. That's not the knowledge of the truth. Go ahead, sir.
And all the people saw him walking and praising Alahym, and they knew that it was he which sat for alms at the beautiful gate of the temple. They were filled with wonder and amazement at the which had happened unto him.
Right.
The lame man which was healed held Peter and John. All the people ran together unto them in the porch that is called Solomon's, greatly wondering. When Peter saw it, he answered unto the people, You men of Yasharal, why marvel you at this? Or why look you so earnestly on us, as though by our own power or Kadash we made this man to walk?
Right.
The Alahym of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the Alahym of our fathers, have esteemed his son Yahushua, whom you delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when he was determined to let him go.
Right.
But you denied the Kadash one and the just, and desired a murderer to be granted unto you,
And I pray.
and killed the Prince of Life, whom Alahym have raised from the dead, where we are witnesses. In his name through faith, in his name have made this man strong, whom you see and know. Yea, the faith which is by him have given him this perfect soundness
Go ahead.
in the presence of you all. And now, brethren, I know that through ignorance you did it.
I know through what you did it.
And through ignorance you did it, as did also your rulers.
Now I'm reading this for a reason, because there's a sacrifice for sins done out of ignorance when you don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that individuals doing, and you know what you're doing. Read John 9:37.
And Yahushua said unto him, You have both seen him, and it is he that talked with you. And he said, Lord, I believe, and he worshipped him. Yahushua said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind.
What else?
And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these
Are
words.
we blind also?
Yahushua said unto them, If you were blind, you should have no sin.
But now,
You say we see,
therefore,
your sin remains.
see, if you were blind, you wouldn't have no sin. That means you don't know. Also, that's a different connotation, with Adam, because he knows. But either way it goes, there's no sacrifice. He said, if you say you see, your sin remains. That means you're not doing this out of ignorance. You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And when you know what you're doing, there's no sacrifice for sin. Let's go to Hebrews 10 and 25. That's removing the mercy from the mercy seat.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, as you see the day approaching. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins. But a certain fearful
There
looking
remain no more what?
sacrifice for sins. But a certain fearful looking for judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries.
Now, he said there's no, now we see this here, right? Now we know that willfully deals with sins that are not done out of ignorance or weakness. If you know what you're doing, there's no sacrifice. 2 Peter 2, verse 17. 2 Peter chapter 2, excuse me, verse 17.
These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the midst of darkness is reserved forever. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were clean escaped from them
who lived in error. Now we can read many examples of those who were righteous who escaped from sinners. Because remember, he'll make an escape for those that belong to him. He'll give you a way out of there. A lot of people don't realize that. If people be trying to force stuff in dealing with people, the Lord blocking you from them people because you live in clean, they live in error. And you know, evil communications corrupt good manners, so he don't want you around them. Now, either he can do some things to let that happen, or he open an escape hatch that you can see, and you run through it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're gonna be seeing that because people be wanting to maintain connections to people who will destroy you. Like he told you in Leviticus, I severed you from other people that you might be mine. I think that's a very, very difficult thing for people to comprehend. Because we were talking about this the other day. This doesn't mean you cut your people off. What I mean by that is you have organizations that'll tell you can't deal with your family if they're not in the word. Now, you know, I ain't never told you that. I ain't gonna tell you that. Man, you want to go see your grandma, go see your grandma. You know what I'm saying? Go see your people. But you would have to understand that. But if your people don't respect boundaries, then as an adult, then you would have to limit your interaction with them out of pure respect. Now, sometimes your people don't respect your boundaries because you don't have any, because you're not really about what you're talking about, so they don't respect what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes the reality, what you don't really want to deal with is some of y'all niggas people are just disrespectful, period. And they don't care what you're talking about. It's about what I want, how I want it. And I don't care if you don't do it. I don't care if you don't eat pork. I'm going to make these greens with this. I don't care if you don't do this. When your children come over here, oh, no, so you ain't got no respect. I ain't got to come around here. That don't mean that I don't love you or this, that, and the third, but I don't have to entertain that because we're blood related when you don't have any respect. I don't have to do that. That's whether you're in the word or not. See, that's what people tell you, your family, no matter what. No, if your family doesn't have common courtesy, decency, and respect, then you're not entitled to my presence. You're not entitled to that. Because clearly you don't want my presence anyway. You want my presence on your terms. And that's not how connections work. So you can go to hell, to the nearest one too. Straight exit, get off. Exit 5, exit 15. It don't make no difference. I'm not doing that. And there be people in the world who act like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't do that. I don't have to. Remember, I say this here, right? You have to remain a professional. Because I was asked this last night, like what we were talking about last night. If you mention something to somebody, but it falls on deaf ears, what do? Continue to show the love of God. What they do or how they respond has nothing to do about what you're supposed to do. You have a standard of godliness, whether that person is going to adhere to it or not. Imagine if Yahuah said, I'm only going to reciprocate the love to y'all that y'all reciprocate to me. We all be on our way to hell. Because he said, for my love, you chose me evil. Ain't that what the saying song said? You know what I'm talking about? He don't know what I'm talking about. Who know what song I'm talking about? Go ahead, bro.
So, if he put a means for you to escape, and he gave you that hatch, he obviously doing that because, like you said, he's trying to sever you, to show you a certain level of love, and show you that he's choosing you and offering you that, because he don't offer that.
That's a fact.
So when a person denies that, when he offers that, is that moving into being reprobate?
It's a strong sign. It's a strong sign. You know what I'm saying? Because that means you're not retaining him in your knowledge, and you're not showing forth that you know him. Because if you know him, you would recognize him, and you would
respect that he offers you.
And in respect, you would see it the same way. Man. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen like that video? A dude jump in the car, running from the police, and his homeboy pull up, open the door, come out, get in, and you be like, "No, I'm gonna keep on running." That's what that is. I gave you a lifeline, dummy. You should have jumped in the car so you don't go to jail. Now look at it, Mr. Charlie done caught you. Should jump in the car. Some people don't jump in the car.
But what is that? What is that to that person?
That they stupid. I mean, I ain't got nothing else for you. No, they gotta understand they just stupid. I mean, I don't have nothing profound, nothing introspective, anything of the sort. That nigga stupid. I wish I had more, but I don't. Somebody else may do, but I don't. Yeah, I ain't even trying to.
Looking at it from the standpoint.
Yeah, I ain't even trying to be funny.
No, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of if a person, even if that example, if a person is trying to even put themselves in a position to help you, like he's trying to help you by showing you what happens. Like, are you saying he's trying to help somebody that's stupid?
No, sometimes that no, that's different. Sometimes that offering is that witness against you so you can go to hell.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was asking.
But then some people, they don't get that offering. Sometimes it ain't even an offering. For some people, it could just be time and chance. Like, it's a lot of instances, whether it be a God or not, where you in situations and circumstances and there's a way out. And you see it, thought might come to your mind, and you ignore it. Sometimes you ignore it because you have no depth perception whatsoever. Sometimes you ignore it because you so intent on fulfilling that specific desire that there's not a force in heaven or on earth or under the earth that would persuade your mind from doing it. So then sometimes he got to let you crash out. Now, in this instance, what this epistle letter is referring to is saying, you know, whether it be with David or with Saul or Jacob with Esau, or Joseph with his brothers, those that live in clean, he's going to cause them to escape from people who wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's a little bit more specific than the general sense of people putting themselves in situations and circumstances. Now that's going to be that Corinthians when he say, and in all temptation, there's a way out. Because now there's some testing and tempting, and now anybody who coming to serve God, if you tried above the measure that your flesh can handle, there's a way out. Now whether you walk through that door or not is different. Now, this passage is dealing with interaction between people. If you clean, I'm going to give you an escape from those who are living wrong. And sometimes they don't want to escape from people who living wrong because you are fantasizing and romanticizing about a connection and or an attachment to this person. And you don't want to sever that attachment. And this is part of the reason why the things that are in the book about romantic attachment and why attachments are a mental illness. And when I say it's a mental illness, because it's related to emotional inadequacies and absences in your childhood that you're trying to replace with individuals as an adult. That subject of that attachment could be your mother or father based on what you did or didn't get in your youth. But those attachments are dangerous because you won't sever, because the emotional vacuum that could be created. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to deal with the emotional upheaval, even though this attachment should be severed. This person is going to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? How do we know this? 1 Corinthians 15:33. That's fair. Sloan, what's happening, Ozzy, man? I hope you're feeling good, man. Sloan, but Ernest, man.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Evil communications do what?
Corrupt good manners. Await to righteousness and sin not.
Sin not.
For some have not the knowledge of Alahym.
Speak
to your shame.
You got to realize that, man. I've always told you this here, because if you read the story of Solomon, right, it says Solomon was the wisest man to ever live, right? And bald-headed hoes took him down. Because they were evil communication that corrupted his good manners, because these were strange women who worship idols, and his desire to please these women took him down. Now, if there's a man who's wiser than everybody in here put together, multiplied by 1 million, if bald-headed scallywag hoes can take him down, what you think your auntie gonna do to you? Or your homeboy gonna do to you? Or your daddy or your mama gonna do to you? You think they're not gonna, you know what everybody think? Oh, they gonna happen to me, because I'm strong. Nah, you're not as strong as you think you is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you go to talk about love that is devoid of emotional attachment and responses, that's why people look at you crazy. Because we don't live in a society where that's pushed. What you mean you love me and you don't feel nothing? I just seen a lady say that this morning. She said, I hate that men say they don't have a love that has chemistry and passion and excitement. You sound like a 5-year-old, ho. The fact that you equate love with excitement, that's childlike. That's not what an adult man or woman should ever say out of their mouth. You want love to be exciting? What, you think this is a roller coaster? But that's what people want. They want an emotional roller coaster. You know, but from the text, we know that love is what? It's service, it's sacrifice, it's selflessness, it's loving kindness, it's mercy. That's not exciting. That's why they don't sell it in your movies. That's why they don't put it in them songs. Because that's not exciting. It's not, though.
That's right.
But see, people want the exciting because that's that dopamine. That's that vasopressin. And guess what? People say all that's exciting and they stay with somebody they should have left 15 years ago. You can say that's exciting. He just slapped you upside your head. She just threw pots and pans at you. That's exciting though. Now, ain't no Bobby Whitney. They just were high together. You ain't never heard about Bobby and Whitney fighting. You heard about them getting high. And guess what? Bobby didn't get that woman on that door. She got Bobby on that door. You know Whitney was on that door? You know Whitney was a hood chick. Old hoe. Listen, I grew up with some girls who were young hoes, now they old hoes. Y'all don't know about that because y'all ain't got old yet. Right now, y'all the ones y'all grew up with, they medium hoe. They in between young and old. And they never stop on too. Listen, they don't. By the time when they stop horn, that's when they looking for, as Jason Black put it, they looking for a pension pimp to come through and take care of. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Go back to 1 Peter 2:19. 2 Peter 2:19. I mean, it's a harsh reality. See, people don't like to hear them harsh realities. Everybody wants you to believe that ain't no woman out there, no hoe out here, but everybody know hoes though. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no woman, no hoe, but everybody know them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, when I worked at what that was, man, the Ale House, well, I knew a lady who had 8 kids from 8 different dudes. I said, baby, how's that even possible? And I'm like, if 8 men ejaculated in you who inseminated you, how many did it who didn't? Yeah, you see how your face look? And she would think at some point in her life that somebody should marry her. But you know how much low self-esteem you got to have to say, you know what I want to be in life? Your 5th baby daddy. Your 6th. Your 7th. But you don't love yourself. No, you don't love yourself. I'm talking about that's man. Oh, if you was a woman, meet a dude, you be like, yeah, I got 7 kids from 7 different women. You gonna volunteer to be the 8th baby mom? Baby, you don't love yourself. You're supposed to say, I respectfully decline. I don't care how handsome you think he is. I don't care how much money he got. You would have to look. It's 7 women got kids from this dude. And he ain't with none of them. And you gonna think to yourself, you know what? My vagina good enough for him to love me. It's not. I promise you it's not. I know women be thinking their vagina got magic in it. It don't. It really don't. You know how you know this? How many women, you know, to say maybe you may have been the woman. Hopefully not. It's a lot of women who feel like my vagina make him go get a job even though he ain't work when you met him. A lot of women feel like my vagina make him want to go to school and better his life. Make him ambitious. Make him disciplined. Make him loving. Make him caring. If I just toot it up a little higher, he'll behave better. He's never good. That nigga ain't on none of that. Your cooch ain't that good. It's the same way dudes think we good enough to make her cook and clean. That whole lazy. Ain't nothing much, man. Hey, man, look at, man, I wouldn't care if you flipped her, sauteed her, jumped off the dresser. She's not finna clean nothing. She don't want to work. She don't want to do nothing. But you think but see, black people think like this. White people do too, but I'm only around black people. Black people think that what you have in between your legs can magically make anyone a better person. Do you understand the level of stupidity that you have to believe that? They parents. The people who raised you, that made you, because as I heard Farrakhan say this years ago, black people are inclined to want to pick their spouse based off of what they can do with their loins versus their character, their spirit, their mindset. How good is your sex? How many times have you heard people say that they would leave somebody if the sex was not satisfactory for them? But this individual could be a top tier individual. This is man or woman. I'm not making no distinction. In a multitude of categories, high character, discipline, structure, all these type of things. This woman could be caring and loving and helpful and all that. But I don't her coochie trash. So I don't want to be with her. He ain't got no good wee-wee. I don't want him. And go get a nigga with some great wee-wee who lazy and beat you. And I ain't even talking about beating you physically. I'm talking about beating you emotionally and mentally. Beat you up every day. But he beat the cooch up, so I'm cool with it. That's stupid and retarded when you hear it out loud. But you know what the problem is? Women don't say that to their friends like, you stupid hoe. Why is you fooling with that dude? Oh, no, I can nobody's love is good enough to make anybody be something that they don't want to be on their own. The love of Yahuah is the greatest love that you could ever experience, and that don't make people want to be better for themselves. So what makes you think your genitals are going to do it? It ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. But I think that's a part of the self-centeredness and selfishness of this particular society, that you think your love is so great because really you've created an image of, because it's not a woman thing, because dudes do it too. You created an image in your mind of who you want this person to be, though their actions have never showed that this is who they are or who they ever will be. And instead of facing the reality that I just need to separate myself from this person, you'll mentally and spiritually destroy yourself for 10, 15, 20 years, hoping that this lazy nigga is going to be something that he never desired to be. Like, I've been through that. If the nigga didn't want to get no money when you met him, he ain't gonna want to get none because he with you. He just don't wake up one day and say, you know what? She loved me so good, I want to be a producer now. That's something intangible that he had to have before he met you. That's why the first time I told some people this on Clubhouse when we were talking, like, bro, I don't hustle or lift weights for my wife. And they were like, what do you mean? Bro, I had to have those intangibles before I met her. Now you meet a woman, now you want to get you some money? So what happened when she died? You going to go back to, I don't want to do nothing now. That's crazy. Same way women like, I'll submit to a man if I meet the right man. Baby, that's who you is before you met him. If that's not even your mindset before you meet the man, you're not going to meet somebody and magically become something that you spent 25 years not being. Or 30 years not being. That's not how that works, because that's a habit, and that's something that you do continually. You just don't create a habit magically because a person appears. But you know where you get that from? Hollywood movies and songs. So now you believe that this type of love just switches on like a light switch, and now you become an entirely different person than what you've been your entire lived experience. And that's not how that works. And that's why people be discontented and upset, because they just think love is going to make me be like this. But like I said, once that dopamine wear off in them 18 to 36 months, it's something totally different. So you think men and women was taught that magical ignorance in many ways? You say you've fallen in that trap before. I mean, it's a dangerous place to be. You don't want to be in that. I would say godly love has no emotion attached to it, because it's not a love that's rooted in emotion. It's a love that's rooted in service. So there's no feeling. It's not something that you're going to feel. It's not a euphoria you want to feel. You know what I'm saying? And you would have to ask yourself, why are you seeking? Not to say that it's a bad thing per se, that if you want to feel that, but you have to ask yourself, why am I chasing after that? Why do I need that? If you can rationalize in your mind that it's a good reason why you need it, then it's cool. But if you don't know why you need it, then it's probably rooted in some unresolved issue in your mind, and you would need to resolve that, so that if that feeling didn't occur, you wouldn't feel like this person don't love me. Because some people feel like, if I don't feel this feeling, this person don't love me. And this person could actually be showing you love day in and day out. But since you don't have that feeling, they don't love me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to weigh that out. That's like I said, that's what the purpose of the book is. The purpose of the book is not to destroy the concept of romantic love and falling in love. It's to show you that those feelings could be misconstrued as love, and you can misidentify it and be fooled up with somebody you don't need to be fooled up with. That's it. Just to provoke the reader to think about the things that they're going after and what they're seeking and juxtapose it to this book. Okay, I have these feelings, but is this person actually exhibiting godly love? Is godly love what I desire, or do I just want the deception of my heart, the seat of my emotions? Do I want the blueness of his wounds to cleanse my belly from all evil? Or do I want to continue going after my own heart and my own way? And we know what our own way got us. What it done got you? I can tell you, you don't got to answer. Nothing. He said, what fruit have you in those things that you are now ashamed? What did you get out of that? Nothing. So if you know what you desired and what you wanted got you nothing, you know that you would have to be at the highest level of stupidity to keep thinking that you're going to get something different from nothing. See, that's a hard thing to deal with because you have to look inside. You have to be introspective. And the thing with a lot of people when we're dealing with the word, they don't like to be introspective. That's why people just like to throw verses at you. Meanwhile, whatever you got going on inwardly, you still got to sit down and sit with that. So now you only have two options. I can face them or I can run from them. And you know what we end up doing, Cleveland? Running. And not running necessarily because you're weak per se, but you've never been given the tools to even know how to turn around and fight it. You know what I'm saying? If you go outside in your neighborhood when you was a child and somebody picking on you and you got to fight, you didn't necessarily want to not fight because you were scared. You just didn't know how. So since I don't know how, I don't want to fight. Then when you figured out how to fight, look at you. I was ready. You seen that clip where Michael Beasley said he had all them feelings and he said, why you ain't say nothing? And you know what he said? I didn't know how. So when you don't know how, then you just bury it. It's not there. It's not there. Here, we don't do that. We're going to look at it. You're going to have to look it in the face. Yeah, it's a monster under your bed. Well, cut the light on and get down on the floor and look at it. Look at that nigga. I see you under there, and you ugly. And when you do that, then guess what? He don't have no more power over you. And if he don't have power over you, then guess who else can't have power over you? The adversary can't have power over you. Because whatever that is you got going on, he can't tempt you with it. He can't slander you with it. He can't do nothing with it. Because now the power of God gonna rule, but now the word can come in and the word can do its job. See, the word can't do its job if it's got to fight what you got going on the inside. But if that's gone, he can do his job because there's nothing to fight because you put it to death. 2 Peter 2:19.
While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, of the same as he brought in bondage.
Right.
For after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahuah Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning.
So that man said, if you receive the knowledge of Yahuah Mashiach and you got out the world and then you go back in it, it's going to be worse for you than when you was in it the first time. Go ahead.
For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the Kadash commandment delivered unto them. But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed toward wallowing in the mire.
So you took this pig and you washed it and he jumped right back in the slop. You ever seen the dog go back and eat or throw up? Now, Crystal just asked this question, y'all. I'll let y'all answer this question according to how y'all see it. She asked, can your presence in someone's life motivate them to the right path? What you say, Lil John?
Motivate, I don't know. It could be like
see it, nah, I can do it. But you gotta want that to do it.
What you say, Dwight? Why so? What's up, East Man?
I'm taking the analogy about who's going to work out. I see, I use Kiana, like you see Kiana working out, and you see our body's changing. Now they want to depend on what you do.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. Because we know they say the words of the wise are what, Simi?
Ours goes.
And that's something that incites or motivates. So it's not going to be necessarily just the presence, because presence alone ain't going to motivate nobody to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But words and actions can motivate somebody to do something. But it has to also be what Lil Johnny said, that person has to want to do it also. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you can motivate people, but I will say that motivation doesn't last for long if it's not something that the person intrinsically desires to do.
There's certain things like you might not think it's possible, but if I know somebody, oh, this person adopted it, okay, I see how they did it now. I want to get it out of that.
Now, see, that would be inspiration. Same thing, but slightly different application.
I would think the same thing like you were saying with Michael B. There's a lot of people that's in certain situations and they don't know how to do something. So you doing it and them seeing how to do it it gives them the understanding on how
what to do.
Yeah.
Which is why, we haven't had, what I'm saying, sprinkle here and there, not as frequently as in times past, but topics and things of this nature have to be interspersed into what we're doing, because everybody here is a real person in real time dealing with real life situations and circumstances. And the word can do all things, but if we don't treat individuals holistically as a person and just be like, I'm gonna just throw a multitude of precepts at them, you're really not doing any work. And that's what a lot of people who facilitate the word believe, that I can just throw 100 verses at somebody but not actually interact with them and deal with them as a human being, which you're not going to see that in the text per se, because that layered level of nuance is not going to be drawn out in a writing. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to see how the entirety of his interaction with Zacchaeus. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the main points of that interaction. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get the detailed interactions that he may have had with the woman at the well, or the woman with the issue of blood, or anybody else who he interacted with. You know what I'm saying? Or any other prophet in times past, because they're getting to the point elements that lead to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the salvation of God. But as far as how they interacted with these people on a human level, you're not going to be able to derive that. That's why when you watch biblical movies, that's why they have to add so much stuff in, because that interaction is not in the text. Right. No, he came at him like a human being. Like, man, check this out. Woo, woo, woo. And he appealed to the sense of righteousness that was in David so that David could understand his father. He just ain't come at him and said, look, you're a wicked nigga here, man. You slept with this man, why? This, that ain't how he came at him. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't believe that we can. Of course, we're not going to know how they felt because we weren't there, but based on like what you were saying, you can conclude from their level of righteousness how certain situations could have probably.
Yeah, I mean, you could make some inferences.
Yeah. Because I think even Bears were talking about this not saying but like even going further than David, like Solomon, like think about like if Solomon knew how his daddy got his moment. Like think about if he knew that, and then someone shared that with him, his father was really.
And I wager he probably knew.
And we don't say he knew, but understanding what he prayed for later, you can probably see that it's a good chance he.
No, that's a real thing, and it doesn't go into how he would have felt about that and seen about that. Right. Like, damn, Pop, you killed her husband.
Right.
He committed adultery.
When we were talking about that, it was like knowing he had to be next to the king. Then you watching your brothers hit his wife. You watching this because you're born. You watching these people trying to kill your daddy. You know what I'm saying? You watching all your brothers trying to take the kingdom from him. And then you know what your daddy did to you.
To even be in this point.
Right. So now you praying for wisdom because you can only imagine how he probably felt.
As a human being. Absolutely.
Seeing all that.
And the text don't speak to those type of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if we believe But these were real people. That means they had real emotions and real thoughts and concerns about the things that was going on around them. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing that, I know everybody in here is a real human being. Obviously, you're not AI, you're not a robot. So that means there's things that you experience, and we have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And we have to discuss certain things. It's just some things, like the aspect of love, I knew that was going to be touchy because that's something that everybody desires. But you desire it from a Eurocentric point of view. And we're not Eurocentric. So we can't collapse on to what this like. I seen a lady say, why don't men court like this? I say, baby, courting's only been around since the 16th century, 12th at the earliest. So you as a black woman is asking black men to do something that's roughly, 800 years old at the most, that don't even pertain to me. But then you'll turn around and talk about white privilege and white supremacy. But then you'll pick and choose what parts of white privilege and supremacy that you want me to interact in. You could go to hell. Because I'm not participating in that. I'm not a part of the king's court. I'm not courting you. Then they don't even know how courting was done. Ain't nobody come to you and ask your daddy for you. That's not how that worked. You weren't dating and a nigga taking you here and taking you there. That's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? Courting was, I want you to marry my daughter, and then you're having interactions with this woman to see if we can facilitate a marriage. That's how the white folks did. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no dates involved. He's not bringing flowers. He's not outside writing poems and singing to you. They want to determine, out of this arranged marriage, does my daughter want to marry you? The same way you seen they asked Rebecca, you want to go with it? And she was like, yeah, I'll go. Because most people have a distorted view of what an arranged marriage is. They didn't necessarily force them women to go with that man. They would ask her, you want to marry him? Yeah, cool. I'll do it. I'm good with that. If she said no, then they wouldn't have done it. You think somebody just go, nah, you're going to marry him, girl. That's who I want you to be with. But people had this idea that in every dispensation of time that men just hate their daughters and hate their wives and all this type of stuff. And truth be told, that's white men who hate their wives. Oh, if you go through white history ain't that long. I'm just telling you this. I've told you this before. The Greeks and Romans did not see women as their intellectual equals. They saw women as inferior and that their only purpose was for child rearing, and it was better for them to be with their friends than them to have sex with their friends.
So in this day and time, with this all like arranged marriages, how would you tell a man that they would court a woman? Like if you're not giving a woman away, like if you're not spending money on her, you're not taking her, what would you like? If you had a son, or you have a son.
Oh, I mean, listen, man, I tell my son straight up and down, man, if you got to take a woman somewhere in order for her to like you or want to marry you, you got a scallywag. That ain't no woman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not how you determine if this woman fit for marriage. I told you this before. I don't believe in dating. You don't learn who someone is from leisure activities. Because that's a leisure activity. Me spending money on you does not denote that I'm a good man. We just talked about that. It's men who spend money on women and slap the fire out of her at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? And tell her, baby, I apologize. I ain't going to do it again, and then slap her tomorrow. So the aspect is to actually be around them and see how they handle life. Is she kind? Is she courteous? Is she compassionate? Does she have any type of work ethic? How does she handle adversity? And the only way you can see that is, for lack of a better term, in the wild. I need to see you on the field and see how you handle life, to see what your character really is when you're not dressed up feeling that you need to perform because we hanging out. Because that's not the real you at no restaurant. I don't get to know you. And I don't get to know you from conversation, because you can make your mouth fry fish. You can tell me anything. But you know where I'm going to know you at? And by their fruits, you're going to know them. I need to see how you conduct yourself in life. And I've always believed wholeheartedly, you won't see who anybody is until you see how they handle adversity. That's when you're going to see the real them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's an advent. That's American stuff. He need to take me on a date. He need to do this and do that. And you would have to ask yourself, where did you even get that framework of this, how you're supposed to pick a spouse? Because somebody told you to do that, and somebody told them to do that, and they passed that along. So what ends up happening? Nobody's paying attention to any character, any intangibles, any intrinsic value or righteousness in the individual, period. Is they look good and I can have fun with them. So dating in the aspect of the United States of America is just that chemical release, that dopamine release, that oxytocin release, that vasopressin, that norepinephrine, all those chemical releases that distort who this person actually is because I have fun with them. I don't need to have fun with you if I'm gonna live with you. I need to be able to know that I can live with you and actually go through life with you, because you can have fun with a dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm just admitting the rules. You can have fun with a dog. But I also would say, to a certain extent, shalom, Dre, man. It's also a very immature frame of mind. And that's not to belittle nobody about it. And it's not to say that there's anything inherently wrong. That's one thing if you already with this person. I would also say, don't take no woman on no date because you want to go. So if it's something that you do, because that's what you do, and you enjoy that woman's company, yeah, then take her with you. But if you doing that to impress her, son, you're a jackass. Because you shouldn't take nobody, you don't even know this woman. I have never been in my 45 years of living, in my 27 years of adulthood, I have never seen a woman that I saw was so fine that I need to spend money on her so she'll like me. Never seen one. I ain't never seen no woman be like, I need to take her out on a date so she can like me. I ain't never seen no woman look that good. Because I don't know you. And who are you that I done worked all this time to say that you entitled to my blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice and the pain it took me to get here simply for an opportunity for you to like me? Yeah, you lying to me. Listen, you can roll your eye. But I told y'all what my mama told me in 1992. She said, son, you're going to work too hard for your money to give it to a woman because she spread her legs. When you understand that and you got a son, you like, son, your value in life is not what you can spend on a woman to get her to like you. Because there's a nigga who she like who ain't taking her nowhere. I'm talking about he taking her to McDonald's and she going to get something off the value meal and smile and he going to crack her. Because when a woman don't like you, you have to buy her company. And all y'all in here know it. That nigga ain't had to be spend no money. You like the nigga. He ain't had to do nothing. You could have went to the park. It was cool. He ain't have to do nothing. I like this nigga. We ain't got to go on no dates, nowhere. And when he took you somewhere, you was happy. And it wasn't even because of where he took you. It's because I get to be with him. I don't care. We could go to Disneyland. We can go to McDonald's. We can go to Roots. I don't care where we going, as long as I get to go be where he at. But when you don't like him, you got to take me to Capitol Grill. Yeah, when you don't like it, he got to pay. He got to pay for your presence because you already ugly. I don't like you. You got to pay me to be here. And but see, this is a harsh reality that young men don't get told. And every woman know it. She ain't gonna tell her son that though. See, my mom and them kept it gangster. They kept it pimping. No, you ain't finna be no trick and no sucker around here. You're not doing that. Because all y'all know that. If it's a nigga you don't like, you find out, that nigga, he got to buy me something, he got to take me somewhere. The man you like, you'll sit. Some of y'all sat on porches and apartments till 2-3 days in the morning with this nigga because you like him. Y'all ain't did nothing. He ain't even had nothing to get you a 4 for 4 from Wendy's. Y'all eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches with bottled water in the apartments on the green box. All night long talking about nothing. And you loved every minute of it. And you told your friends that this was the greatest experience in the world. Like this man took you to Paris, took you to Brazil, took you to Mexico. Y'all ain't went nowhere but in the back of the apartment. Now, when I mention that, that's how our interaction should be with Yahuah. That you enjoy his presence. So it don't matter what you experience, where you go, what it look like. It brings joy for me to be in your presence. You know what I'm saying? When you transfer that over, then it's easy for your son not to get caught up in some violence. Or your daughter to get caught up in some violence. Now, I would recommend as a man, your daughter should stay in your house until she's married. You shouldn't put your daughter out your house until she get a husband. Because as a man, why would you wanna do all these things that everybody should say you should do for a woman for marriage and she don't live in her daddy's house and she been hunching? Yeah, that don't make no sense. I know somebody who was a virgin when her husband married her, and she was living in her daddy's house when he married her. And that's why he married her. You know what I'm saying? That's very rare. But see, y'all different. Y'all can raise your children now. If the Lord don't tear this place down first. Come on, Simon. Give me Exodus 25. You can tell me what verse 9 says.
According to all that
Shalom,
I
brother
showed
Shaul.
you, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the
Hold on one
tabernacle.
second. Say only if they've not been on the right path. Peter talked about believing wives or when they indeed. It's Quran mentioning what Peter talked about, the wives
Winning their husbands with their behavior. Now, of course, that's dealing with unbelieving husbands. But again, that goes to the aspect of what I was talking about earlier, that if your husband doing X, Y, Z, just keep walking in the word and live in the word and let that be your response. Instead of trying to nag or what I'm supposed to do, what you're supposed to do is love God. And if God told you to move like this, then move like that. And stop worrying about what you can't control, because you can't control what they do. You can only control what you do. See, a lot of people think you can control what your spouse do. Well, if I keep asking him, he'll change. I promise you he's not. Because there's a lot of things he asked you to stop doing, you ain't stop. He told you ain't like biscuits, you still make them. With blueberries in them too. You ain't making biscuits for him. Selfish man. Because they trash. Who's here to validate that? She your friend, she gonna lie for you. Go ahead, Exodus 25 and 9.
According to all that I show you, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it. They shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall it be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. You shall overlay it with pure gold. Within and without shall you overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. 2 rings shall be in the one side, and 2 rings in the other side of it. You shall make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. You shall put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. You shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold.
You make a what?
A mercy seat of pure gold.
Tell them what mercy seat is, man. Give them the kipparet.
That is the mercy seat, the place of atonement. Say, a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. You shall make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shall you make them, and the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one end, the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall you make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. The cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. Their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. You shall put the mercy seat above upon the ark.
Put it up what?
Above upon the ark.
Leah, what's in the ark?
You know what's in there? You supposed to know. I'm waiting on you.
What's in the ark? Oh, you don't know for real?
No, not the ark. Not that ark.
The Ark of the Covenant.
You know what that is?
Oh, she don't know what that is.
Hold on.
You know what the Ark of the Covenant is? No? What's in the ark? The 2 tables of stone. So, in the temple, you can read it.
You have a box. In that box was the 2.
Read Exodus 34 and 1 for me.
You have certain things that they put in that ark. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing in the ark itself. Now, those rods and the things like that, they were in the Holy of Holies. But the only thing in the ark is the 2 tables of stone. Then above that ark is what he reads is the mercy seat, which is representative of the throne of God.
So that shows us that his mercy is above the law. Go ahead, Siri, read that for me.
Saying, Yahuah said unto Moses, hew you 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which you read.
Come on to 2 Chronicles, I believe. I think it's chapter 6. So what we was reading is the instruction that Yahuah was given to Moses as it pertains to constructing that ark. Hold on. And that ark was actually what they believed that was the presence of God. So it was a big deal. I just gotta find the passage where it said that's all that was in there. Go to 2 Chronicles 5 and 7, 6. 2 Chronicles 5 and 7.
And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahuah unto his place, to the oracle of the house, and to the most Kadash place, even under the wings of the cherubims. For the cherubims spread forth their wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubims covered the ark and the staves thereof above. They drew out the staves of the ark.
That's a fact, East. That's a fact.
Of the staves were seen from the ark and for the oracle, but they were not seen without, and there it is unto this day. There was nothing in the ark, save the 2 tables which Moses put therein at Horeb.
You see what it is? There's nothing inside that ark except the 2 tables of stone. We're going to take it a step further. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. But definitely, as he just stated, right, we need his mercy to be above the law or all would perish. This is something that a lot of people don't understand because he didn't have to put his throne above that, on the top of that ark. But that was to show you what it was in the garden also, that the tree of life was above the tree of knowledge of good and evil. How do we know that? Because if they would have ate from that tree, they would have lived out. Tree of life is the mercy. You know what I'm saying?
Say, what about Hebrew 9? What verse, Monte?
Because Hebrew 9 speaks on some, or is it 10? It's one. I walk back up here. Y'all gotta bear with me because I'm walking in between both to catch comments on both. Back. 45. Because you had a baby, you wrong here. You're saying something right now. You ain't wrong. I'll tell you when you're wrong. Go ahead.
Saying, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed
Jeremiah
you.
3 and 15.
I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass when you be multiplied and increased in the land, those days, saith Yahuah, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore.
John, let me ask you a question. Why do you think he said there's come a time where you won't visit the ark of the covenant, you won't ask about the ark of the covenant, or none of that? Read it for him again, because a lot of people skip over it.
Saying, I'll give you pastors according to my heart, which shall
Oh, no, just straight to the ark. You ain't gonna read it.
Okay. And it shall come to pass when you be multiplied and increased in the land, those days, saith Yahuah, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore.
He said you won't visit it, it won't come to mind, you won't even remember it. Not in this instance. He's talking about the literal ark. You ever seen Indiana Jones? You know that's what that movie was about. He was looking for the ark. One of the movies was called Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what the movie was about. They was looking for the Ark of the Covenant. Look, Johnny, why you won't visit the Ark or remember it no more? Read Ezekiel 48 and 35. Because in this instance, and he didn't read the passage where it got to it, it's dealing that the children of Israel have been delivered, not in the land. So you're going to read it. He's going to tell you the name of the city is Yahuah is there. What is the need for the ark and the mercy seat when the throne of God to be on earth He'd be in your face. What you looking like that for? Because why would I ask you the ones you know? What fun is that? After that, Hebrews 9:1 to about verse 4. Monte asked about verses 2 through 4.
It was round about 18,000 measures, and the name of the city from that day shall be Yahuah is there.
The name of the city shall be what?
Yahuah is there.
Remember in Ezekiel 37, he said, I set my sanctuary in the midst of them. So that's why. Because there'll be, and again, the law is for who, Sidney?
Sinners.
And read me Isaiah 4:4.
When Yahuah shall
Peace,
have
man.
washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof.
We probably need verse 3.
And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remain in Jerusalem shall be called Kadash, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
Everybody that's written in the book of life will be called set apart. Y'all know what it says in Zephaniah, what anybody in the land won't be doing? Give them Zephaniah 3:7.
I said, surely you will fear me, you will receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Therefore wait upon me, saith Yahuah, until the day that I rise up to the prey.
Right.
My determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. But then will I turn to the people a pure language,
That they might call on the name
of Yahuah, to serve him with one consent.
What else?
From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughters of my dispersed shall bring my offering.
Talk to
In
them.
that day shall you not be ashamed for all your doings, where you have transgressed against me. But then I will take away out of the midst of you them that rejoice in your pride. You shall no more be haughty because of my Kadash mountain.
Come on.
I will also leave in the midst of you an afflicted and poor people,
That means it's a humble people.
and they shall trust in the name of Yahuwah.
And what they won't do, Sidney?
The remnant of Yasharal shall not do iniquity.
They won't do what?
Iniquity,
Nor what else?
speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
Hold on. Go to Hebrews 9:1.
He said in his sanctuary here now, seeing that there's no physical ark anymore. I say yes, but I'm like, yeah, because it ain't none. Because
And that's what we get to. And that's why the veil was rent when he gave up the ghost. Because now you can actually approach unto God. But like you said, like if you go in Ezekiel 40 through 48 and you look at it, there's one thing in the description of that temple that you do not see. And that's the Ark of the Covenant. Why? Because we just ended Ezekiel 48:35. The name of the city is Yahuah is there. Well, let's take it a step further. Before you read Hebrews, Zechariah 14:8.
And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And Yahuah shall
Trying to
be
make her
king over
understand
all
what
the
he asked.
earth.
go ahead.
That day shall there be one Yahuah, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Gabah to Ramah, south of Jerusalem. It shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place. Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate.
When you heard it, he said, what waters issuing out of his throne? What, verse 9?
Verse 8.
Verse 8, read it again.
It say, it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea.
Now, and if we was to go and look in Ezekiel and talk about them living waters that come, they're coming from out the throne. Because God is there. So there's no need for the reason why I mentioned another reason why the ark's not being there, because if I put the law in your heart and in your inward parts, and the law is not for a righteous man but for a sinner, and ain't no sinners gonna be there, what is the need for the ark? The actual sign of the covenant is with you, because Yahuah Alahym and the Lamb are the temple of it. There's no need for that. And that's also difficult for people to digest. I think this means that law and commandments have passed away down the generations, ingrained in people during times. Well, the word been passed down and down. The word gonna be here regardless. Like I was saying before we started, like the sister up there, like we go back and forth about women preaching. Like me personally, I don't care what nobody do when it comes to that. Because you know why? Because you can't stop nobody from preaching. What, you gonna lock them up? You gonna kill him? You can't stop nobody from doing that. The only thing that you can stop, whether you gonna listen to him or not. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not going nowhere and a woman is the pastor. I'm good on that. Because I don't have no Bible for that. Not because I have a personal issue with her. I can't justify that in the text. I'm not going to do something to make you feel good about what you're doing, and I don't have no Bible to justify it. Because if that's the case, then we should go down there and let them punks feel good about getting married, even though we ain't got no Bible to justify it. Because that's the road that you're going to have to take, because that means you picking and choosing who you want to justify. If you believe God sent you to do something, then go do it. Why do you need my permission or approval? It would show. I'm just telling you this, it ain't just about no women preaching. If somebody has to convince, persuade, cajole, whatever the case may be, to get you to believe that God sent them to do something, then it's highly unlikely that they did. Because those who he sent, it would show full proof in what they had going on that they were sent. They didn't have to go through all that. You think the Lord was going to walk around, y'all gonna believe I'm the Son of God? He say, man, you want to condemn me because I said I'm the Son of God? He say, if you don't believe my words, he say, believe what? The words. That's it. He ain't sitting around there trying to convince them. He say, hey, man, if I ain't did no evil, then speak well. But if you can't convince me of a sin, why do you not believe me? Because he's asking them, if you're not believing what I'm preaching, if you can't sit back and look at what I said according to the word and find nothing wrong with that, you can't find nothing wrong with my lifestyle, then what the problem is? But we were talking about this yesterday also, because people romanticize this. Yahuah was not popular. He didn't have a widespread movement. The vast majority of Jews rejected this man. And they weren't down with the disciples or the apostles. But we like to romanticize it because of 21st century Western Christianity, that everybody professed to be a Christian, and you think in the first century, all them Israelites was down with what he had going on, and they weren't. You know, what we call Christianity didn't proliferate until Constantine, when he merged their pagan practices with the book. That's when you seen it explode. But the true gospel, it ain't never going to be a lot of people. You know why? Because niggas wicked as hell. Because he said, because if men hate the truth, if not, they would come to the light so that their deeds would be evil. Don't nobody want to come to that. I like hitting hoes. I like stealing. I like these idols I got in my heart. I like this maliciousness and spiteful me. I don't want to get that up. That feel too good. Don't nobody want to hear that. If a man was popular, you wouldn't be able to get a whole nation of people to say, man, let his blood be on our children, hang him from a tree and give us a birth. You got a man out here saying, what evil this man done did? None. Nah, let me get the killer though. Come on, Sid.
We go with Zechariah.
Yeah, give me Hebrews 9:1.
Then truly the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service in a worldly sanctuary.
So you got this worldly sanctuary.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
Right.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Kadash of all, which had the golden censer, the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables.
So that's what I'm saying. All that stuff is behind the veil, but all of it wasn't in the ark. The only thing actually in the ark was the 2 tables of stone. What verse is it?
That's verse 4.
And that's what my favorite, because that's what's in the sanctuary. Like he said, that worldly sanctuary ain't standing no more. So if it ain't standing no more, guess what happened to that ark? It got destroyed with it. You know why? Because Yahuah said, I don't dwell in temples made with hands. The same ark that he want to have now, he wanted to rest in your heart, which is his word. He wanted his covenant in you, because he said, I will walk in them and dwell in them. But let's see.
When you asking what the sanctuary here right now?
Oh, no. He was saying, we know that sanctuary ain't here now. That was that long ago.
Say facts. I said to prove that the majority weren't on. All you have to do is look at the crucifixion. How many people were there opposing the stakes to sit?
All the Jews were. They was all opposing. And they weren't opposing it necessarily because they had an affinity for the Romans. They were opposing it because they had an affinity for what they had going on. Because what did it say the Pharisees said? If we leave him alone, what's going to happen?
Take our place.
They were worrying about their spot. They said they were envious of this man, saying he speaks with authority, not like the scribes do. They said, you know who they were feeling like? Well, you know how the scribes was looking at the Lord. They were looking at the Lord like Saul was looking at David. What did he say? What Saul say about David? Well, what Saul was upset about when he heard the people? Say they could bring him in about 10,000. Saul about 1,000. He said, man, what else they gonna tell you? You'll get my throne too. That's what they were worried about. That's what they were worried about. Yeah, people live in a fantasy world. They think everybody loved Jesus. They did. Because all these niggas don't love him now. Man, if this man was walking on the earth right now, these niggas would kill him right now. Listen, if we was to say that Jacksonville was first century Judea, and we out here IDs right now, he would be right out here preaching the word, and these niggas will string him up. Take him right down there to Donna Deegan. Kill him.
It'll be the pastor because he's doing miracles when they put him in out the church.
People coming out the church, they leaving organizations, all the brews gonna be mad. Everybody mad. We losing money and people. They always out here on the app listening to this nigga. Who he think he is? And exposing their doctrine. Every time we see this nigga, he on 45th. Yeah, the people ain't gonna like that, man. That's a fact, Joseph. Nah, but for real though. All you gotta do is just look at it in terms because he gonna be where the people at. And that's gonna cause a problem for the leaders. He's being out there in Emerson Arms, he be in Pine Forest, he be in Paxton. And you know, his churches in all these neighborhoods, and these people gonna be sitting back looking at him like, hey man, hold on, cuz. What you mean my doctrine trash? What you mean the 11 I got is hypocrisy? Who gave you this commission to preach this? Who are you? And guess what they're gonna do? Have a church council. Shalom, Yasha, man. Man, what we gonna do, man? Everybody down there, man, he causing problems, man. Shoot, he say Donna Deegan ain't mayor.
For sure. All kind of lies.
He say he the mayor. We gonna have to appeal to Ron DeSantis. He gonna have to holler at Trump. We gonna need something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to modernize it so you can see that, man. Because all them people had a problem. And you know what he was preaching? To walk justly and humbly with your God. To show and love mercy. To believe and obey. That's a problem for a bunch of wicked niggas who exploiting the people. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's what I'm finna do. This nigga left the room. I know we did chapter 8. We didn't do all of chapter 8. I know we did Songs of Solomon before, and I did 5 yesterday. Give me Songs of Solomon 1.
Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is better than wine.
His love is better than what?
Than wine. Because of the savor of your good ointments, your name is as ointment poured forth.
Hold on, listen to him now. He said, as your, what it is? Because of the savor of your what?
Of your good ointments.
Your name
is as ointment poured forth.
Therefore,
the virgin's love.
What you think this means? You sitting there looking, but you cold? You need some iron pill? You know? You know what I'm saying? We help you out. You need something?
I'm a little sleepy. I'm a
little sleepy?
I'm getting over this.
Nigga, you ain't sick. They didn't say I was sick, unwell, I'm getting over the illness. I had an illness.
Niggas just said they sick.
Come on, man. Read it again, Sylvia.
Say, because of the savor of your good ointments, your name is as ointment poured forth.
Now, his name is his ointment poured forth. What he told you the comforter would do? It would come in his name. And in his name, he would bring to remembrance all things that he said unto you. And ointment is oil. So give me 1 John chapter 2, verse 25.
And this is the promise that he had promised us, eternal life. These things have I written unto you concerning them that seduce you. But the anointing which you have received of him.
Oh, wait, what?
And you need not that any man teach you, but as the same anointing teach you of all things, and is truth, and is no lie. And even as it hath taught you, you shall abide in him.
Now, again, because a lot of people say we're not in the new covenant because people still teaching people. But remember what it said in Romans. How can you call on him whom you have not believed? And how can you believe without a preacher? And how can they preach except they be sent? Because that's what we were discussing with. Because the lady literally said a prophet can move up to the office of an apostle. I'm like, no, he can't. That's not how that works. You don't get a promotion. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but people have, all y'all in here know this because we done went over it before. We ain't talked about it in a little minute. But, every job has a criteria. Because she asked me, what is the process of becoming an apostle? Ain't no process. You either made one or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Even the misconstruing of what an evangelist actually is. What is the common definition of an evangelist? An evangelist is not a traveling preacher, not by definition. And I'm not knocking nobody for saying it, but I'm talking about by definition, it is not a traveling preacher. So read 2 Timothy 4 and 3. Oh, no, I know it. Yeah, and I know that's probably why the sister said that, speaking from that standpoint of how the church operates. But we talking about as forth as what the book say. And what the book say, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? I think it's 2 Timothy 4 and 3, what I said. Go ahead, Steve.
Say, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
Right.
They shall turn away their ears from the truth, shall be turned unto fables. But watch you in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of your ministry.
Paul. Now he say, do the work of an evangelist and make full proof of your ministry, a full proof of your service. Tell them what evangelists mean by definition, Sid. You can give them the word also.
Evangelist states that is a bringer of good tidings, or the name given to the New Testament heralds of salvation through a Mashiach who are not apostles.
Effectively, an evangelist does the same thing an apostle does, but he wasn't taught by God, he was taught by man.
You got the preacher of the gospel.
That's it. Traveling ain't got nothing to do with it. That person preaches Yahuah HaMashiach. That's what an evangelist does. But he's not an apostle. An apostle does the same thing, but read that the second definition again.
You got the name given to the New Testament heralds of salvation through a Mashiach who are not apostles.
Now, if they're not apostles, that means what we got to establish, Kalisa. What makes an apostle in the first place? So that you can see the distinguishing between what's the difference between an evangelist and an apostle. So now we're going to go to Galatians 1 and 9.
As we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you than that you have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men, or Alahym, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of a Mashiach. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man.
It's not after what?
Not after man.
What that mean?
For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it.
Neither was I taught it.
But by the revelation of Yahuah HaMashiach.
I conferred not
For you have heard of my
with flesh and blood. Go ahead.
For you have heard of my conversation in time past in the Yahudim religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the assembly of Alahym and wasted it, and profited in the Yahudim religion above my equals in my own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. But when it pleased Alahym, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, Immediately I conferred not with flesh and
Now,
blood.
let's agree, because I'm not going to spend much time on it. Adam was an apostle, because who taught Adam?
Alahym.
Moses was an apostle, because who taught Moses? So that's how you make the distinction. Because this is what Paul is referencing. And of course, when he resurrected from the dead, he taught them the whole book was about him. That's how they were made apostles. An apostle is a man who has that same gospel that an evangelist has, but he got it from God and not man. An evangelist can have that, but he got that from man. And the pastor is different. Now, this is the kicker. You could be an apostle and a prophet. But what I'm telling you is, a lot of people look at prophets and think they taught. Prophets didn't teach, they prophesied. That's two different things. All prophets aren't teachers. Some teachers are prophets. Now, Yahuah was an apostle, a prophet, a teacher, a pastor. He held every job. High priest, he held every job. Everybody in the body not going to hold every job. It's like I say, I know a dude, he had an apostle ceremony. There's no such thing. A man can't appoint you to the office of an apostle. And the fact that people sit and entertain that shows that they don't read the book. You ever seen an apostle ceremony? Any of y'all ever read about an apostle ceremony? I ain't said you seen one. I said, did you read one? Because it ain't in there. But guess what niggas will show up and do? I just seen dudes have a whole elder ceremony, gave a nigga certificates and everything. I'm not participating in that. I'm not knocking them if they want to participate in that. I'm not participating in that because I don't have no book to justify this. So why am I even here doing it? You know what I'm saying? Now, it's cool if in the organization you want to appoint someone an elder, but I don't need a ceremony. They didn't do ceremonies. That's New Age stuff. That's really stuff that come from the church, and then people who were in the church who switch over to being quote unquote Israelite, and they still bring those traditions and practices from the church and just bring them over. And that's fine if they want to do it. But I'm telling you, nobody doing no elder, so they ain't handing nigga no certificate, man. What this mean? What this for? Backslash, you know what I'm saying? But I mentioned because there was no ceremonies. Like when Paul made Timothy a servant or a teacher of the word, there was no ceremony. He said, I laid hands on you and not go to work. When he seen the apostles, what he said to them when he seen them in the street. You know what he said to them? See, we don't know what he said. What he said, what the Lord said to his people when he seen them in the street. When he first seen Peter there, man, what he said? He did say that. He said something else too. That's it. Simple as that. Follow me. Follow me. That's it. You know what I'm saying? What's the other But yeah, that's as simple as that. Oh, what he said to do to Luke. Hey man, let me go bury my daddy. Hey man, let the dead bury the dead. Go move this word. See, people want to hear that. That sounds cold and hard. We got work to do. We ain't got time to deal with that around. But people thinking you got to have all these elaborate ceremonies. That's vainglory. You know what I'm saying? Did somebody have a ceremony when it was time for you to move that work? You know what I'm talking about? Do you have a ceremony when it's time to clean somebody's house? When I say move work, I ain't talking about no drugs. I'm talking about whatever you sell. Shoes, clothes. But that's what everybody wants. Living in America, everybody want to be acknowledged. You think they Roman Reigns, John? You want to be acknowledged? You know that constant desire to want to be acknowledged is rooted in low self-esteem? Where we at, Sid? Yeah, come back to Songs of Solomon. Because you got a lot of people, they get upset. Don't nobody support me. You think sports teams stop playing because ain't no fans come to the game? Tampa Bay Rays don't nobody show up. They just keep winning. I'm for real. That stadium be empty. They may not win a championship, but they perennially win at least 85 games every season. In the playoff every season. Ain't nobody in there cheering for them. You mean to tell me you're not going to push forward to what it is that you desire to do if ain't nobody cheering for you? Don't you realize that's where you at the end of the season? Oh, my mama didn't support me. So what, nigga? Go do what you came to do. You 30 years old talking about your mama didn't support you. But support yourself. You know what I'm talking about? The Lord supports you. What you need man for? Go ahead, Sid. He should say, bump that. Acknowledge. You know you like that. Acknowledge me. Tell me my cinnamon rolls. That ain't no different. You tell me my food taste good.
I do ask them.
Yeah, we're different.
So sad about it.
You don't force. I'm trying to eat. How does it taste?
I tell you.
Trying to eat. You know mama tell you not to talk with food in your mouth.
I do.
See, this is how I know y'all ain't old. Old people would know if the food was good because they ain't no talking. They just chewing. They don't say nothing. It's gone. If it was nasty, it'd still be on the plate. Kids don't count. Yeah, kids don't count. Yeah, like as hell, man. That's when you know, that's all you need. You don't need nobody to give you no verbal confirmation. If there ain't no talking, the food good because he chewing. Ain't nothing left. Or they go back for some more. Now you gotta make sure that nigga ain't hungry. Because if niggas hungry, they ain't eat anything. Well, I done see, listen. You go to jail, that food ain't good. Them niggas be in there eat. That nigga hungry. Them niggas ain't hungry and they got some food in that box, they turn it down. You be hungry enough, you'll disregard anything. That just means some of y'all ain't never been that hungry. I ain't saying that you should have been that hungry. I'm just saying if you hungry for real, oh, you don't care if it tastes good, bad, or nothing. I just need food. You gotta be hungry to do that. You understand what I mean? You ever had cereal? You had cereal powder milk? Devastating. Devastating. Mess around, eat cereal with condensed milk and all that there, man. You gotta be hungry to do that. You ain't never been that hungry. Yeah, you talking about that milk in that can, see? Okay, play with it. Yeah, I told you, man. Some of us, man. Some of us come from you open the refrigerator talk back. Nigga, ain't nothing in here. What you came over here for? Like, what did you open me for? You knew it wasn't nothing in here when you came over here. You know what I'm talking about? You open the refrigerator, you know ain't no food in there. You feel like you hope if you open it again, it's gonna start being there. It's empty as it was when you opened it the last time. You know what I'm saying? Or you sit there looking at cereal, I can eat it dry, or I can eat it with this powdered milk or condensed milk. Or you could take it to the elite level of WePo and do like he said and put some water in there and sprinkle some sugar. And some niggas ain't even got no sugar to sprinkle, so it's just water. Monte said condensed milk with a little water. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never heard. He said, glad today. Go with who you telling? You said somebody eat it dry, man. When you 6, 7 years old, you talking from the standpoint of an adult. Man, nigga don't want no doggone. Shoot, you gonna make it stick. You know what I'm saying? Nigga want that junk dry. You want some moisture. You know that's what you like, huh? It's like a little moist. Say your grandma made me powdered eggs. Powdered eggs tough. Listen, nigga. Government peanut butter, terrible. You ever seen that shit? Man, they give that big goddamn white can, man. Ain't nothing but oil in that hole. I'm talking about, man, you got to have some jelly on that, because if you try to eat that plain, it's over for that. You gonna choke to death. You hear me? I don't know how I'm still alive. Say the elder ceremony like this was some graduate complete required course. Your proof said completion of the diploma. My old trip. Yeah, and I know that's more of a Christian thing. You know, and I ain't knocking them for it more. But I'm just saying, that's not something we would ever do. It's definitely not nothing that I would ever participate in. Just go do the job, sir. Let the Lord give you a ceremony at the resurrection. Let him take care of that. You know what I'm saying? That's not something we do. We ain't doing all that. You know what I'm saying? And nevertheless, come on back. Now you know if you be out here down bad. You some people that say they ain't even niggas. You got people who didn't even know they were poor until they got damn near grown and realized we were poor. Loud as hell in them. No, I just decided to say something. That is right there. I don't know. I got different cause. I be wanting some military precision. I don't want nobody talking to me. Everybody sit up straight, mouth closed. It'll take me about 3 weeks to get you trained to be quiet. I ain't expecting you to do it in week 1. About in a month. Yeah, I want you to stand at attention. There's you here talking about. Say, I don't even hear you breathe. You want to be able to hear a rat piss on cotton. You ever heard a rat piss on cotton? You gotta be quiet. That's the only way you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's noise, you ain't gonna be able to hear. You gotta be quiet. You know what I mean? Come on, Simon. They tell you that in the service, man. I need to be quiet in here so I can hear a rat piss on cotton. They don't want to hear nothing.
We're in verse 4.
Go ahead.
Say, draw me, we will run after you. The king hath brought me into his chamber.
Hold on, draw me and we'll do what?
We will run after
And
you.
the king have done what?
Brought me into his chamber.
And we'll be what?
Glad and rejoicing.
And we will remember your what?
Love more than wine.
And listen. Now look at what he say. Draw me and we'll do what?
Run after you.
What verses you can see that go along with that? Give me John 6:38. That's fair. When we look at that, he said, hey man, no one can come to the Father except he draw me. But like he said, when the Son of Man be lifted up, it will draw all unto me. And once you get drawn unto him, then you chase him. And then we mentioned, or run after. Then we mentioned some of the verses when he went to the apostles and said, follow me. And they were drawn after him and they went. And it said his love was better than what, Sidney?
Wine.
And what does that wine represent? His blood in the new what? His love is better than wine. What does his love consist of? The mercy, the loving kindness, the things that he said he would betroth you in. You got betrothed in loving kindness? No. You got betrothed in the teenage love. You don't know that song. You know that song? Who's singing? Ain't no damn Alicia Keys.
Oh, I'm thinking about it. Teenage Love Affair?
It is a song. You know that song, Lil John?
I know how it goes. Don't hurt you.
That's it. He know it. That's a rap song from the 80s. Slick Rick. You don't know who Slick Ricky is. She don't know who the ruler is. Paul. I shouldn't say nothing. You walk around with Tribe Called Quest and Wu-Tang shirts on. You don't even know who them people is. Give me who one person in Wu-Tang that's not named Method Man.
Inspector. I know who Wu-Tang.
Inspector who?
Yeah, I know who Wu-Tang.
Oh, that didn't sound confident.
I know who Wu-Tang.
You said Inspector Deck. Who else?
I want to spy. I know who Wu-Tang.
Who else besides Inspector Deck? That's one.
Older Bastard.
Okay, you know him because he dead. Who else?
I know Wu-Tang.
Who else in Wu-Tang Clan?
I know Wu-Tang.
Who is in Wu-Tang Clan?
See, you got me here. I know Wu-Tang.
You can't say no Ghostface.
I know who it is.
No RZA.
The Jizzle. I know Wu-Tang.
Give me a song from Wu-Tang Clan. I call all I need. No Method Man rap.
Cream, I know. Okay.
You put creamy over.
What you want me to say? What you want me to say?
What's a Wu-Tang album?
Oh my God. Enter, what is it? I know Wu Tang Clan. I'm on the side. But I've answered every question.
She did, man. But you ain't finished that album, though. You just said enter what? Enter the restaurant?
No, enter
The bathroom?
I know the song. I know the album.
Just doing you like you do them turns. They probably glad you returned. She be mean to her. See how she laughed? Mean to them turns. Come on, Sid.
Say, for I came down from Shamayim, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Abba's will which have sent me,
help me out.
that of all which he has given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which see the Son and believe on him may have everlasting life, and I'll raise him up at the last day.
Joseph stupid. Look at that. Everybody, hold on. Everybody in the chat was on this. Hold on. What we got here, man? They will help you out. Rebel INS, Master Killer, You God. And then we know Brother Marvin listening to him because he mentioned Dog Crap and the W and Bells of War. That's somebody who really listened to Wu-Tang forever. He didn't pick Triumph. That boy said Bells of War. He was listening to that album. Go ahead.
It's older, man.
That's fair. Because I was 16 years old when Wu-Tang Forever came out.
That was 1997.
Yeah, 1997. Yeah, I was 16 or 17. No, I couldn't have been 17 because I think I hadn't graduated yet. No, I might have been 17 because I graduated at 17. I graduated at 19. Well, at least one. Yeah, I ain't listen to it. It was trash. Listen to the Aubrey. No, I ain't familiar with any music. I ain't nothing. That's outside of the scope of my time. Go ahead, sir.
And the Yahudim then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from Shamayim. And they said, is this not Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know?
That's good. Come back to song. Sorry. We'll probably transition next week, Lord willing, to just dealing exclusively with the mercy seat, because I think that this fourth was the live portion. What they've been doing with the live portion is taking them and turning them into text and then transcribing it and then putting it in the book. I think my portion with that is complete. We did have a portion about religious psychosis. I do want to read that part. What verse we in the Song of Solomon? Because we got time, because technically we got to be done till 3 o'clock.
Verse 5.
But y'all didn't know that, because I ain't want y'all niggas to be late. Yes, sir.
So what time it is? 1:41. Oh yeah, we good.
Go ahead.
I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, but the sun have looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. Tell me, O you whom my soul loves.
Crystal knew several. She said, you God, just everybody. And she finished the last part for you. 36 chambers.
I knew the people. It was a lot of pressure.
What, no pressure? You know what pressure is? It wasn't that. Not for her. Go ahead.
They tell me, O you whom my soul loves, where you feed, where you make your flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turned aside by the flocks of your companions? If you know not, O you fairest among women, go your way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed your kids beside the shepherd's tent. I have compared you, O my love, to a company of horses and Pharaoh's chariots. Your cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, your neck with chains of gold. Who will make you borders of gold with studs of silver? While the king sit at his table, my spikenards send forth the smell thereof. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts.
This is why John was laying on his chest. Read it again.
Say, a bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of campfire in the vineyards of En-Gedi. Behold, you are fair, my love. Behold, you are fair. You have dove's eyes. Behold, you are fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir.
Now, this particular chapter, of course, is dealing with dwelling with the king. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. But this is the part, oh, I just read this yesterday. Hey, I'm gonna read it. Just something. Dang, I can't find it. Oh, that's right, I got it. Just chapter 14. I just want to read this. See, I want y'all to hear how this sounds. Let's give it a chapter. Okay, probably one scene gonna update it. I'll read this part of it, right? It says, love is defined throughout this work is not an experience that must be maintained by continuous production of motivating conditions. It is a structure that remains. It does not require constant reinforcement. It does not depend on an emotional alignment for its continuation. It is not threatened by the fluctuation of the system that produced the feeling which the relationship began. It persists because it has been built through the consistent enactment of a behavioral pattern. Chesed named and agape defined. As Jose demonstrated under the conditions most designed to expose whether the structure was genuine. It is grounded ultimately in a source where stability is not derived from human experience and therefore cannot be removed by the variation of human experience. The source the statement God is love identifies, and which the entire canonical argument examined in this work has been working towards. Everything else remains within the category of activation. And I can't find the part that he just added in because it's too much. I have to go through that. I'm not gonna do that. But what does that mean? When the text tells you, Civic read earlier, right? Rejoice in the truth, and that love never fails. The love of God does not need external motivation. It's not moved by external factors. How do we know this? Because he told Moses, hey man, I'll kill them all and make a nation out of you. And he said, but what about, read it for us, Numbers 14.
But all the congregation bade stone them with stones, and the esteem of Yahuah appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of the Yasharal. And Yahuah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have shown among them? I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of you a greater nation and mightier than they.
Right.
Moses said unto Yahuah, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them. They will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that you, Yahuah, among this people, that you, Yahuah, are seen face to face, and that your clouds stand over them, and that you go before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and a pillar of fire by night.
Right.
Now if you shall kill all these people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, because Yahuah was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech you, let the power of my Lord be great, according as you have spoken, saying, Yahuah is long-suffering and of great mercy.
Yahuah is what?
Long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and to the fourth.
What happened?
Pardon, I beseech you, the iniquity of this people, according unto the greatness of your mercy, as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now.
Till now.
And Yahuah said, I have pardoned according to your word.
See, a lot of people don't think like that you couldn't plead or have an interaction with Yahuah, but you see, he literally interceded on the people's behalf, and he appealed to what, David? Love. He appealed to the mercy. And what did Yahuah say I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pardon. Give him pardon by definition.
That is salak, to forgive, to pardon.
And you know, there's another word that salak is the root of, which means to send away. He sent away the iniquity. Sent it away. When you see it, consider that. You see how that goes back to his mercy is above the law, because the law say all the people should have died. That's what a lot of people have a hard time understanding. Go back to 1 Corinthians 13 and 7.
Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, endure all things.
Give me verse 60.
Say, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things.
Nah, give him truth by definition. He said rejoice.
It's Alahym. That is what is true in any matter under consideration. This is in truth, according to truth, of a truth. What is true, things pertaining to Alahym and the duties of man, moral and religious truth.
Notice that he thinks things that pertain to Yahuah and man. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, every Israelite's favorite verse.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
What's that?
Fear Alahym, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Tell him what duty means.
The duty ain't even there.
I already know that. You know what I'm saying? He said duty. No, I just wanted, because I already know that wasn't there. So just say to reverence Yahuah, keep his instructions. Hold on. So you look at what's the whole matter. When you look at matter, that's the bar or the word or the occupation or your business. What is your whole business? To reverence your God, have respect for him. You're right. And then as forth as, and guard his commandments, his ordinances, his precepts, protect them. But why is that important? Because the testimony of Yahushua is the Ruach of prophecy, and those that don't know the law are cursed. So if you understand the whole matter of the occupation of the word, you would reverence God and keep his testimonies. You know what I'm saying? It's not as oh, you don't eat pork. Like we were talking about yesterday, right? Niggas will tell you that they don't eat pork, but they're malicious, they're spiteful, they're vindictive, they're lustful, they're full of all type of things, but I don't eat pork though. The simple things. As he put the lighter matters of the law. Matthew 23 and 23. I said yesterday, man, like you can talk about it, right? Circumcision is hard. After that, you can read Jeremiah 4 and 4. The circumcision of your penis is not difficult. Might be painful or uncomfortable. How do we know that? Because Shechem was ready to got circumcised so he could be with Dinah. He didn't even hesitate. You know what I'm saying? Things are only difficult as it is according to the desire that you want to do it. The greater the desire, the simpler it is. The lesser the desire, the more difficult it seems to be. Because all of us have encountered things that were difficult. But because you had a great desire to accomplish it, it wasn't as difficult as when you got done, when you like, this wasn't even that hard. Just because you wanted to do it. But when you don't want to do something, it's as if you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, high-grade calculus. You know what I'm saying? High-grade geometry, dealing with rocket science. I don't understand none of this because you didn't want to do it in the first place. You didn't want to do it in the first place. So you're going to find the reason of why this is hard so you can justify in your mind quitting. See, there's a difference of running into something and the obstacles are just more than your competency and capability at a particular time, and you just pivot to something else. Because sometimes people tell you, "Oh, don't be a quitter." Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have to acknowledge, "Hey, nah, this ain't it. We got to move on to something else." Versus having this mantra, "I'm not gonna quit," and you wasting time and resources in something that may not have been successful in the first place. Now, there's a difference, I mean, it's a nuanced deal. It's not it just is what it is. That's something I can say. You should quit. You should do this here. There's some things, you should persevere through. And then you have some things as it pertains to life, or we're going to say that's difficult because you had no desire. You didn't have the gumption or the wherewithal to want to overcome it in the first place because you didn't really want to do it. And that ain't no different than this word. Come on with me.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy,
and faith. And that's what that throne, that mercy seat, is built upon. Because we're probably going to have to go back and look at Leviticus 16 and, about the Day of Atonement, and read Hebrews 9 and 10. Because the mercy seat in and of itself is not necessarily spoken about like in depthly. You're just going to have a level of understanding to understand what that throne represents and how it's conveyed. A lot of verses that pertains to its conveyance is littered in Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes, to be honest with you. More so Proverbs than anything. I'm talking about as forth as the throne itself, but nevertheless, it was one in Isaiah. What I asked you for after that was it?
Wasn't anything else.
I did say something after what you grab out yourself. What you just read?
Matthew 23 and 23.
Yeah, I asked you something else. I can't remember what it was. Nevertheless, give me Isaiah 16 or more. Like I said, because it's been a long time since we talked about the mercy seat exclusively, so it's time to swing back around that corner.
They send you the Lamb to the ruler of the land from Salah to the wilderness unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make your shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast, berate not him that wander. Let my outcast dwell with you, Moab. Be you a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. For the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler cease, the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established.
And what shall the throne be established?
In mercy shall the throne be established.
And what shall the throne be established?
In mercy shall the throne be established.
Proverbs 20 and 24.
Man's goings are of Yahuah. How can a man then understand his own way? It is a snare to the man who devour that which is Kadash, and after vows to make inquiry. A wise king scatter the wicked and bring the wheel over them. The spirit of man is the candle of Yahuah, searching all the
What a verse that we read by the throne earlier.
It's coming up.
Go ahead.
Say, searching all the inward parts of the belly, mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholding by mercy.
Now notice that it said that the throne was established by mercy in Isaiah, right? We already read this one in Proverbs. And literally his throne is called, at least in English, the mercy seat. Come over here to Hebrew 10 real fast, man. It'll lay the foundation down. Give me Hebrew 10 and 5.
Wherefore, when he come into the world, he saves, sacrifice and offering you would not, but a body have you prepared me. And burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin you have had no pleasure. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me to do your will, O Alahym. Above, when he said sacrifice and offering, and burnt offerings and offering for sin you would not, neither have pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. Then said he, lo, I come to do your will, O Alahym. Take away the first, that he may establish the second. By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahushua HaMashiach once. And every priest stand daily ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of Alahym, from henceforth expecting till his enemies be made his footstool.
Right.
By one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified.
Now that one offering, of course, Hebrews 9 and 10 relate to atonement exclusively. to go to Hebrews 9 and 7 too.
But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. The Ruach HaKadosh this, signifying that the way into the Kadosh of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience.
Now let's go to Leviticus 16 and 1. We'll conclude with that. I just want you to get it for those who haven't heard why it's called the seat of reconciliation or the seat of atonement. Because the high priest had to go into behind the veil and sprinkle that blood on that altar.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahuwah and died. Yahuwah said unto Moses, Speak unto Aaron your brother, that he come not at all times into Kadosh, within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will prepare in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come into the Kadosh place with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the Kadosh linen coat, he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, he shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with a linen mitre shall he be attired. These are Kadosh garments, therefore.
I always remember this here because you can read about them garments in Exodus 28. The high priest could only put these on when he went inside the veil. And truthfully, he didn't go behind the veil every day. Only went once a year for the most part. They just didn't go behind the veil just to go behind it. Go ahead.
So therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. He shall take of the congregation of the children of Yasharah 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. He shall take the 2 goats and present them before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahuwah, the other lot for the scapegoat. Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before Yahuwah to make an atonement with him.
To make a what?
To make an atonement with him, and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness.
That's what it was. And she did. It was Jeremiah 4 and 4. We'll end with that. Go ahead. I said something.
It's saying Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Yahuwah, and his hands full of sweet incense, beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahuwah, that the cloud of incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony that he died not.
Read that again.
He shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahuwah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony that he died not.
What he told you that incense represented in the book of Revelation. You know what it was, Sid?
The prayers of saints.
Indeed. Go ahead.
Saying he shall take the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward.
You sprinkle it where?
Upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times.
Notice where he put the blood at. This is only on the Day of Atonement. He puts the blood of atonement on the seat of atonement. You know what I'm saying? Now, all this is important because all these things are going to be congruent about how his throne is upholding with mercy. You heard it in Isaiah, you heard it in Proverbs. Go ahead.
And he shall make an atonement for the Kadosh place because of the uncleanness of the children of Yasharah, because of their transgressions and all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the congregation that remain among them in the midst of their uncleanness. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he go in to make atonement in the Kadosh place.
Now, this is what we heard in Hebrew 10. And that's what the throne of God represents. The throne was always about reconciliation, because that's literally what it means by definition. That's what Kippareth means. That's what his throne has always been about. So when you see him in Hosea saying that I'm going to betroth you in faithfulness and loving kindness and righteousness and in mercies, it's because this is representative of who he is. Even when he declared his name, the first thing he led with is that I'm merciful and gracious. We just read when the people pissed him off in Numbers. What's the first thing that Moses said to him? That you long suffering, that you're merciful and gracious, that you forgive sin, iniquity, and transgression. So this is the thing of what the throne is built upon. So when you see that Yahushua is the king and he sit upon the throne of David, these are what these things are built upon. Which obviously when you see David, if he's a man after Yah's own heart, what was his throne built upon? See, everybody's going to focus on the instance with Uriah the Hittite. Okay, he wrong. We had this conversation last week. Why would God forgive David? Because he wanted to. I say, man, you know what you can do? When you die, ask him. You know what I'm saying? Ask him why he did it. He did it because he wanted to. Because people don't like the aspect that it says that he showed mercy to who he wanted to show mercy to. And he showed grace to who he wanted to show it to. But also individuals overlook the fact of what James said, that mercy rejoices against what, LaJohn? And he who showed no mercy don't get no mercy. Because why? Because that's literally what his throne is. It's the seat of mercy. How can you have a throne that's called the seat of mercy and you be unmerciful and expect mercy from the king of mercy? That don't even make sense. But individuals don't see it that way. Continue on, sir.
Saying there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he go in to make an atonement in the Kadash place until he come out and have made atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Yasharal.
And of course, that's why I say Yahushua did this, not only for himself, but you know, how the high priest had to do this for himself and then the people. Yahushua did this with his body. I know we haven't done this since like 2015, but we'll probably just go through Leviticus 16 line by line as far as the testimony is concerned. But we'll conclude right here in Jeremiah 4:1. Go ahead, man.
Y'all said it, but I just couldn't hear them. You said what the instance representation?
Oh, read them Revelation 5. What it is, 5 and 9.
5 and 8.
Go ahead with it.
And when he had taken the book, 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints.
So you see that incense, that has to be, go back and read the verse for him in Leviticus.
Verse 13.
Leviticus 16 and 13.
He shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahuah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimonies.
The cloud and the incense will cover the what?
The mercy seat that is upon the testimony that he died not.
So them odors of vials of smoke that we read in Revelation 5, that's the prayers of the saints. That's what we see the foreshadowing of that. That incense represents the prayers of the saints. Because when you see that, because when you read Revelation 5, it's talking about being in the temple in heaven. Because Yahuwah sit on his throne in the temple of heaven. Of course, there ain't no veil in there. Because we have to deal with 2 things, maybe 3 things in its totality in dealing with the mercy seat that's going around. 1, obviously, is the Day of Atonement. Because that's where you see the most conversation about the mercy seat. The second would be other verses pertaining to how the throne is built upon mercy. And the third, I just forgot.
Shalom, man.
Thank you, Lord. No. It was the sports things that pertain. And then the other would be the Ark of the Covenant. Simply because it's attached to the mercy seat, which would cause to mean that we would have to look at certain things as it pertains to the pattern of the tabernacle, as far as how Moses was instructed and when Solomon built it. But dealing only with the things exclusive to that, meaning the Ark of the Covenant and the mercy seat. Possibly could look at, when they were trying to bring the mercy seat up, but there's no guarantee with that because that's not necessarily pertinent. You know what I'm saying? But it's for all those things to understand. The reason why we have to look at the Day of Atonement and most importantly is because that throne is called the seat of atonement. And that was the last thing, and the veil. Because we know what happened in Matthew 27, please. When he gave up the ghost, what happened? You better move with haste. You say you nobody ask you nothing that you know. Now you don't know nothing.
Hold on, the saints crying out in that time, or those is? Oh no, not necessarily. It doesn't classify what time period that is. It just says the prayers of the saints. What you say? I'm trying to get help.
No. I got she.
She asked what the question was.
Get out! Get out my class.
I don't have.
Detention is that. I don't believe you or your friend. No. I said, what happened in Matthew 27 with the veil?
You better hurry up. Hurry up. You can't think under pressure, huh?
No, I
Just
ain't
like-
pressure.
You don't think I'm the rest?
No, I mean, I think, but I don't do that. Like,
You think you better get that together. You can't stay calm and think under pressure. You gonna fold. Then people get you and hem you up. You gonna be like you can't think. So y'all niggas gonna get in the interrogation room and tell.
She said she
So
went.
you tell.
She said she stole the beer.
Hey, you telling on the service of God. God damn. Oh, you should tell anyway. I'll tell you right now. You get in my car with Sunday leave. You got about 10 minutes to tell the people it's yours. So I'm gonna help you out. Yeah, you going to jail. Well, you get in my car, tell me, yeah, boy, I got some dope on me, boy. Okay. Listen, I told y'all this before. With me, my cousin Chris, that nigga Pooh, he locked up right now. We ride in the car. We were out there working in Panama. He told me, yeah, man, we beefing with the boys on 63rd. I got the pistol in the car. I said, nigga, what?
She got the answer, Dwayne.
Hold on, let me tell you this, right? All us convicted felons, right? And this man riding in the car with a gun. I said, boy, don't you know my old lady pregnant, boy? I said, man, if you got us ride around in their truck with some fire in here, but don't you know if them people pulled us over, you were going to jail? You think I'm going to be able to be on the county jail? You have a call from an inmate in the Duval County Jail and be like, yeah, I had to keep it real. Okay, you going to jail.
What? What to your butt tore? What did you say? You thinking about the ones who cried out? Oh, I mean,
That's a different chapter. I think that's chapter 6, Sean.
what happened? What tore? What?
Wrong. But now the veil was rent. And we'll look in the law about that. Y'all should remember that it's made out of linen. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. What that represents. And it's I don't say a loose interpretation, but you can definitely see the covering of the veil is representative of the cherubims guarding the tree of life, and then also with the aspect of the cherubims covering up the throne. Why do you think he had the cherubims' wings covering the throne?
So you can't see his face and live.
So you can't see his face and live. That's another reason why when we read in Jeremiah that there'll be no need to say the ark isn't present, because you'll be able to see Yahuah and live. So that's another aspect that don't get talked about. You'll be able to see him and live. And the throne. That's why Hebrews 4, read it for him, sis. Hebrews 4 and 15. You can make it 14. Hell, you can make it 12.
For the word of Alahym is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and ruach and of the joints and marrow
And it's a discerner.
of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
That's what people don't realize, man. When the word come forth, because you know how people say you don't know nobody's heart, but when the word come forth, it show the thoughts and the intents of individuals' heart. See, a lot of people, man, you be too amped up. You talk too much instead of just sitting back and just paying attention. People's hearts get revealed every day. Don't let nobody tell you, you don't know nobody's heart. Shoot, if you don't know nobody's heart, that's because you ain't paying attention. I'm being dead serious. It's because you're not paying attention. Because I reference these verses to you all the time. The Lord told you two things. The abundance of the heart, the mouth speak, and by their fruit, you will know them. And he said, not what goes out of man that defile him, but what come out. And he said, what defile you come out the heart. So if the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak, and by their fruits you're going to know them, you know people heart. It's just not what you want to see. So you tell yourself you don't know it. Nigga can't walk by you and call you a bald-headed hoe every day, and you talking about, I don't know his heart. Yeah, you do. He think you a bald-headed hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I'm just using something as crass as that. Like, man, if you pay attention, I told you what Juby told you. Game can be overcome if you silence your tongue. Sometimes if you start seeing stuff for what you want it to be, and just listen to how this person is talking to you. Not your feelings now. Because a lot of stuff, your feelings will cloud, whether good or bad. Take that out to play and just look at what somebody do and what somebody say, and you can see what's in their heart. You can see it. It's there. It ain't hidden. Because the book tell you that he'll make the hearts of men manifest. Sometimes you want to rush it. You just got to sit back and wait. See, don't nobody want to wait. You want to answer right now. You need to tell me now. How many of you ladies been in here telling me, you need to tell me right now? Somebody told you they got to tell you something. I'm going to tell it to you later. You like, no, tell me right now. I said I told you later, nigga. I did. You're impatient. And you know why you're impatient? Because your mind thinking about 75 different scenarios that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's why some people couldn't wait on the word. That's why Saul couldn't wait on Samuel. Sometimes you got to wait. You got to chill out. Say, blessed is he that wait on Yahuah. There's another verse that tell you about that. It ain't good to be hasty in spirit. There's a lot of people hasty. Your people used to tell you was hasty, Sid. So you say, no, I'm who got a slow pace. Hold on, I'm fine. Read Proverbs 14 and 29.
He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalt folly.
Tell them what hasty means.
That is kasar, short, impatient.
Impatience don't work. That's why Saul got in trouble. And he exalted folly because he was impatient. Let's see it all. Yeah, man. Go to Proverbs 29 and 20.
See you a man that is hasty in his words, there's more hope of a fool than of him.
You impatient with your words, it's more expectation from a dummy. Give me Ecclesiastes 5 and 2 and then 7 and 9.
Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Alahym. For Alahym is in Shamayim, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few.
So those are what he said, right? Don't be rash with your mouth. To be impatient to utter anything before God. Let your words be few. And what the Lord told you, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. You got to add all them extra words. Saying the multitude of words is a fool is present. Ecclesiastes 7 and 9 and then 1 Corinthians 4 and 2. Verse 5 is what Chris just asked for.
Say, be not hasty in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools.
So you see, you know, and this you talking about is like you be getting angry with them churn. And you know why? Because you're impatient. Because you're impatient, now you get angry, and that anger rests in the bosom of a fool. Because what we just read in Numbers 7, it can say this man is what? Patient. Long suffering. You know what I'm saying? This is a godly attribute. And patience is, let me be honest with you. There's a difference with moving with a sense of purpose and being impatient. And see, Satan wants you to be impatient. Because when you're impatient, you make rash decisions. You make those decisions based off, I want this now. That's why he came to him and say, turn these stones into bread. Jump up off this building. Bring it to pass before the time, because I need you to be impatient. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes you can be impatient through just naturally being impatient. But I also believe that we socialize to be impatient because we live in a society that emphasizes instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with black folks and we're like, oh, you know, what you waiting for? You got to go do this and go do that. And sometimes that's necessary. But with God, sometimes you just got to stand still and watch the power of God. So you got to have wisdom to know the difference. That's where wisdom come in at. Because you got to have the wisdom to know when to move, and you got to have the wisdom to know when to stand still. But in this particular passage, that hasty to be angry, that rests in the bosom of fools. So if you always quick to get angry with your children, by definition, you are a fool. Because if you get angry, and then you have to look at what you angry about. Because this nigga's 5 and he's doing what 5-year-olds do. What is there to be angry about? Because you got other stuff going on and you're taking it out on that baby. That baby ain't do that to you. Now, you have some children like mine who are habitual line steppers, and then you know you got to do what you got to do. They might agitate you because mine are line steppers. I don't know about you. Your son a line stepper? Joanne and Jamal are line steppers. You know what I'm saying? Especially Joanne. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she got going on. She got a spirit of a thug in her or something. Oh, you don't know nothing about Pop? I got the spirit of them. Go ahead. You don't know that record. I ain't gonna do it for you. Jeremiah 4:1.
You want 1 Corinthians?
Oh yeah, 1 Corinthians 4:1. Verse 5 is what we need that Crystal was asking about.
And let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Amashiach and stewards of the mysteries of Alahym. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. But with me it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of a man's judgment. Yea, I judge not my own self. For I know nothing by myself, yet am I not hereby justified, but he that judged me is the Lord.
That's right.
Therefore judge nothing before the time,
Nothing before the time.
until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. Then shall every man have praise of Alahym.
Notice he said the counsels. Tell them what counsel means.
It is boule, counsel, or purpose.
Now, see now that's the one thing in men's heart you may not know. And that's their counsels and purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that's why sometimes you got to slow it down. But he said he'll make them counsels and purposes, he'll make them plain. Jeremiah 4:1, and we out of it.
You want me to finish the Hebrews 4?
Oh yeah, my bad.
We're in verse 13. Say, neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and opened unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Right.
Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed in the Shamayim, Yahuah, the son of Alahym,
Right.
let us hold fast our profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
What else?
Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace,
That we might find help.
that we might obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
See, you couldn't go to that throne of grace before that veil got ripped. Matter of fact, while that temple was standing, you couldn't go in there. If you wasn't of the sons of Aaron, you could not go to that throne. If you went behind that veil, you were gonna die. What's the dude named Uzziah? He touched that ark outside of the due order. What happened to him? Now you think if he couldn't touch the ark when they was walking work, they were carrying it in the street. You couldn't go in that veil because you had to put the priestly garments to go behind the veil in the first place. You're gonna have to put that mitre on. You were gonna have to put the linen pants on. You was gonna have to put that breastplate on. He had to put all that on. And then he had to take that off and put his clothes back on when he came from behind it. Because people think, you know how all these Hebrews be wearing, I got my priestly garments on. If we was in the land during that time, all them niggas would be dead. Because you couldn't wear that walking around in the street. You know what I'm saying? You had to put that on in the tabernacle behind the veil. That wasn't something you just walked around flexing in the outfit on. Them bitch had regular clothes on. This is how you know that these niggas don't even know the book that they talking about. Because you really want to be seen of men. Because you would not be walking around the street with a doggone breastplate on.
And you had to wash before.
And you had to wash your funky behind before you went in there. And you had to wash after taking it off. Because you couldn't walk around with that on. Them men didn't walk around the city with a mitre on. That was only for temple service. That didn't leave outside of the temple. They never took that home. That stayed here. And you only put this on once a year. Or if you coming behind that veil. But niggas don't be knowing that. So they tell you, making merchandise of the people, go cop these fits, get your priestly garments on, get the breastplate for you. I don't need no breastplate. I ain't airing them. What I got this on for? And I get why they do it. Because they want you to say to return to culture. But you're not returning to culture because you're not doing it according to the due order. You're doing it how you want to do it. Because them men ain't had that stuff on. They ain't had none of that. Not no priestly garments. You know what I'm saying? Now, garments, that's your business. Just like you gotta do something, you gonna got your Israelite clothes on. Nigga, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as Israelite clothes. They get that probably from the verse where it said he had on the Babylonian garment. You know what I'm saying? They just wore clothes. Cause dudes be like, they got you out here these European clothes wearing a suit. Just say you don't want to wear a suit, cuz. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. If you don't want to wear it, you know what I'm saying? It's because people thinking it'll make them. Remember Deacon Fieldgood said that. He said, I felt more righteous when I had the Hebrew clothes on. Let's get the hell out of here. If what you put on your body give you a mind towards God, your mind warped to begin with. Because it shouldn't matter what you got on. Yeah, you know, you esteeming in appearance and not in God is what you're doing. But I will say that comes from the socialization of the organizations that proliferate around us who believe that that's what make you righteous. You got your ZCs on, you got your cultural garb on. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you still wicked as hell, cuz I just seen you last week. You didn't even know I seen you. You coming out the whole house. I seen you, boy. You know what I'm saying? You just that don't mean nothing. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's some rules that we went around here how somebody dressed right now. They wouldn't eat food. They be like, oh, they don't serve God. Look how they dress. Look how your mammy dress, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But then I don't be wanting to do that because we probably have to fight. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the harbinger of anything. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm referring to when people get caught up on certain things and that are exterior, but not looking at the interior, which is what the Jeremiah 4:1 about. Go ahead. Before you start reading, we like two subscribers short. So once we hit the 1,000, and I can be able to go live, I'll probably go live to discuss elements of that book and the aspect of what we actually like wrote it for. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that's in it, so it can be clear, at least for our, you know what I'm saying, group of what it's about. Go ahead. Oh, we ain't finished with that. It'll be on Amazon though. But Mama Steph said she set it up to where the proceeds from the book will come to us, and then we just put it in the thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is what it's about. Because I genuinely believe the juxtaposition between the two needs to be discussed openly. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'll do. Outside of that, I probably wouldn't just go live on my phone indiscriminately. You know, we used to be able to go live on the phone until they changed the community standards and said you had to have 1,000 subscribers. So we went live on the phone about 7-8 years. That's how long it took to get to 1,000 subscribers. Go ahead, Sid.
If you will return, O Yasharal, saith Yahuah, return unto me. And if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, then shall you not remove. You shall swear, Yahuah live in truth and judgment and in righteousness, and the nations shall prove themselves in him, and in him shall they esteem. Thus saith Yahuah to the men of Yehudah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground, sow not among thorns. Circumcise yourselves to Yahuah.
Circumcise yourselves to Yahuah.
Take away the foreskins of your heart, you men of Yehudah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench.
And that'll be the end conclusion of the mercy seat. That it leads to the thing that it is difficult. It's not difficult to circumcise your weekly, but it is difficult to circumcise that heart. We'll say hallelujah for Yahushua, the word give us some space when we get on out of here. Sister Vega say it's her son for her birthday today. John can say his baby turned 2 months today. So let you be esteemed for that. But I appreciate y'all and I bless y'all the house. Alahym in the name of Yahushua, y'all willing, we'll be back Wednesday. Then let us know if we be back around here next week, whatever it will be. We'll figure it out. But yeah, just weigh and consider. Y'all will next week, we'll just shift, change the thing, man. We'll be exclusively on the mercy seat and everything that pertains to that. Because like I said, it's been at least a decade since we dealt with that exclusively. As it relates to his mercy and grace, it'll be a continuation of the same topic, but focusing on the throne because the throne is representative of who he is as it pertains to reconciliation. So, again, I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all. The house of Alahym in the name of y'all. I love y'all. Y'all with it, man. Till Wednesday. Praise Alahym D, brother mama, man. Shalom, sister Regina. Shalom, brother Ernest, man. Y'all with me? We gonna catch y'all on the next one. We gotta get it roll up, get this stuff set up and roll on up out here. Hey, Abigail.